Shalom, shalom.
How's it going? How's it going today? How's everyone, man? How was your weekend?
It's good.
It was
Good,
Not
good.
good.
bad, not bad at all.
Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, we got a comment coming in. Okay, this
The
is our
people
brother
are great.
Aki and Manilo. Shalom, brother.
Is
How
he
you doing?
following two
Blessed.
streams? Is he following
Um,
two streams because he was on the other stream?
oh, he probably was. I mean, he might be
Yeah, I
one
just
on
saw
the
him earlier.
laptop. One might be on the laptop. The other one. So-
Yeah.
Manilo don't play, man. He be on all
You
the
don't play. You
streams.
don't play. You don't play. You don't play. You don't play.
Aki. Oh man.
Shalom,
Yeah,
brother,
so,
man. I love.
hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going, man? How are you guys weathering the storm with all this stuff going on? He said after I got the notification. Okay, he
Oh,
says
okay.
he
So
says I shut he said I shut the other one down. LOL.
okay.
I understand that.
Man,
That overload is
my
crazy.
man. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh
a bit
man.
much.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
bit
big
much.
so yes. So we have the fiasco, the straightway / Pastor Dow fiasco that's been going on. And if any of you have been tuned in into these YouTube streets, you've been online and what's been going on, it's been a complete firestorm in terms of it hitting YouTube starting last week Shabbat, not the other day, but the Shabbat before last, the 7th day before last. Pastor Rufus and Brother Brent from Straightway came out with their testimonies and revealing in-house things that is going on over there at Straightway. And allegedly, based on Pastor Rufus's testimony, that he was kicked out of the ministry and was given 30 days to move, and he and his family. And so he is, he basically was saying he wants reconciliation. And then that led to Pastor Douse coming out and giving videos, and then eventually, as it kept going back and forth, the great Ringo Raw reaction TV videos came out, and he tried to make a plea to Pastor Dow in reference to allowing for reconciliation. He was hoping that the things, and he kept emphasizing that over and over in that first video, it was live streamed, that he was hoping that it wasn't true, because he has high respect and high regard. He has a long-standing history with Pastor Dow and Straightway, and in terms of the things that Pastor Rufus was alleging. And from then, Pastor Dow made a reaction to that, and it became very ugly. and as a result, it led to this big firestorm, and it seems almost like the Me Too movement is what it reminds me of.
The Hebrew Me Too.
How one allegation came out, then another allegation came out, and then this piece of information exposing this, and that piece of information exposing that. And Ringo has been tactfully on the job, exposing, coming hard at Pastor Dow, and it is not looking good for Straightway and Pastor Dow at this time. And so, brothers, your thoughts, your reactions, what's your consensus? What's your perspective of what's going on here? This is crazy, man. Now, who would ever think? Who would ever think? Talk, brothers. Anyone? Yeah. What's your thought? I know you guys know what's going on. I mean,
Go ahead, Hebrew.
It's crazy, brother Hebrew.
Oh, okay. So my thoughts would be, every time I think, okay, this is as bad as it's gonna get. It's something on top of it, even worse than I could imagine. The things I heard today are way past my imagination. I didn't expect paying a man $100 a month. That just insane. An
No,
allowance of
no, 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 no,
$100.
no, no. Taking a man's whole check and only give him
And then
$100
giving
a month.
back.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
just
And in
insane.
some
It's
instances,
insane.
$50 a month. Right.
Yeah.
Taking the whole check and giving them $50 a month. Like that's crazy. You know,
Insane.
worse than Cref. That made
Yeah.
Creflo Dollar look like a Boy Scout.
So actually, I think Creflo Dollar should be in the comments. He should be following that stream.
He
Like,
should be following. Yes,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
that
for
man.
sure, for sure, for sure, for
He's in
sure.
the comments like, dang, I should have did it that way.
Yes, he's taking note. Missed out on so much money, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, and
Jeremy
then to
said,
hear,
Word of the Sword Ministry said, me too.
yeah, so he put
Yeah.
me too. And then
Hmm.
to hear the wife aspect, then that he was talking to his wife, and then the other guy, he talked to Pastor Dal, and then Dal said, I didn't know that you were aware that I was talking to her. But then he keeps talking to her, so now he's aware, and he continues. And then the woman stays, the man leaves. It's just no, no, no,
It's crazy. He throws a man out the
no.
ministry, throws a
Yes.
man out the ministry, and then he takes the man's wife and marries the man's
Mm,
wife.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, 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 no.
Shalom,
Yeah, he,
shalom, blessings, blessings. What's going on, my
Shalom,
man? Look who
shalom.
is on there. That's brother Larry Bajaway.
hey,
Oh, Miss
shalom, Brother
Masway.
Larry. Shalom, Brother Larry. Hope
It's been a
things is doing
while.
well with you.
he says, Shalom, bless y'all. I have to run, but I will say this: Meek is also to watch in Hebrew. Uh,
Mm.
continue in meekness, my brothers. Straightway is something I wish you brothers experienced firsthand. Bless y'all. All right, well, bless you, brother.
Yep.
Yes,
Bless you, bless
yes, yes. Brother Bazaway is a part of Straightway. Well, bless you. Well,
Oh, okay.
we pray for you. We pray for the saints
you.
over at Straightway. I
Yeah.
know that this has been a difficult one and it's been a difficult time, but definitely looking at this from the outside, it does not look good. You know,
Okay.
it's one thing when you're intimately involved, but when you look at something from the outside, it's a total different look. It's one of the reasons why in the court of law, it's not advised for someone who is a lawyer to go to court and represent themselves because they're just too intimately involved. Yeah, they may know the law, but because of their emotional intimacy with their
Yeah.
own case, it's not a wise thing for them. So definitely there's two different vantage points. There are those that are inside, right? And there are us that are on the outside. And it looks, differently from each perspective, I'm sure. What do you
But
Yeah,
guys say?
and
but if you're on the inside,
that is
then
actually why listening to testimony from Straightway is
You said listening to you're blanked out, brother.
yes, testimony.
Listening to testimony and straightway. What were you gonna say?
I think he's is he still on? Is he still on, man?
He's as far as I look, it's five of us. Let me see. Hold on a second.
okay. Sorry about that. Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
you here? Okay,
Yes, yeah,
good,
yeah,
good,
yeah.
good,
Okay.
good, good. Okay,
I had no clue what that was. But
right.
so as far as I'm concerned, what going back to what you're saying, Brother Allen, listening to testimony from directly within Straightway,
Mm-hmm.
it's like listening to a convicted murderer tell you why he's innocent
Why
with the
he's
knife and
innocent?
blood on his hands.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Mm,
his
It's
testimony holds no weight
no,
yeah,
because you have an
yeah.
absolute biased opinion of the
Of
situation.
course, of course, of course, of course. And that is another one of the dangers for being, like I said, with the example, the analogy that I use, being a lawyer, the terms of your credibility to the jury, you're intimately involved. You're intimately there was a case, right? There was a case here in New York. I don't know those of you. I know those of you who are familiar with the tri-state area. This was a man by the name, Jamaican man by the name Colin Ferguson, who went on what we have over here called the Long Island Railroad, which goes all the way into Manhattan, into Long Island. It's a commuter train, right? So people take it every morning for work. And on this one particular, uh, I think it's the evening going back home, if I'm not mistaken, he got on the train and pulled
Shot
out
up.
a gun and shot up the train. I mean, he killed a number of people, white people for that matter. He killed or maimed a lot of white people. And when he went to court, he actually
Descended.
represented himself.
Yeah.
Now
Wait a minute.
I
he
remember
ended up
that.
getting convicted, getting like several hundred years, but he got convicted, but he went to court, and this is how he literally was representing himself. He would literally have one of the victims on the witness stand, and he would say to them, "Hey, excuse me, do you recognize the shooter by any
Yeah,
chance here inside the room?"
I remember that. Yeah.
And he would say, "Yes, I
Yeah.
do." He's like, "Well, can you point to him?"
It's
So they would
you.
point right at him, and then
You be the man.
he would say stuff like, "Well," he would say stuff like, "Well, uh, isn't it true? Because I'm a black man, you want to pin it on me, and you want to accuse the black man. You shot yourself. Tell the jury." Like, this is how the dude was representing himself, man.
That was
Yo,
He
funny.
was
it was
making a
Yeah.
mockery of the court.
yes. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, he could have been serious inside of his head, but in the
Mhm.
outside, he didn't look
Yeah.
like he had it all together. So when
Mhm.
people are looking at it from the outside, and they're hearing testimonies of adultery, they're hearing testimonies of people having all their money taken from them and being forced to labor, or people being in fear, men being in fear to be able to speak their own mind, or else they would
Grown men.
there's testimonies after testimonies. You
Mhm.
understand? And then you couple it with the doctrines that are stretched, whether you're dealing with
Yes. All things in
the
common
gifts of
is
the
at the top.
spirit, right? Or having all things common, and which is really communism, or in a certain sense, a
That's
socialistic system. Yeah,
Right.
it's communism, socialism.
communism.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mhm.
The central government takes all the money and redistributes
Yes.
it as the government determines.
Right.
Yes.
So what different is that? You understand? If you have this one man takes all of people's money and income and then redistributes it them as he sees fit. And that's how it
Allowance.
looks from the outside. It's just not a good look. It's not a look. It's
Mhm.
not a good look.
I can
But
tell you,
And
also,
brothers.
yeah.
if you're also on the inside, can you be objective?
Well, that's the point.
You
The,
can.
the testimonies of people that have been impacted or who have been removed is consistent. Like, so many people are saying the same thing. That
Right.
what happened to Pastor Rufus, or what Pastor Rufus is alleging, is what happened to me. And
Yes.
so it's bad, man. It's really bad.
It's
And I
bad.
think it's gonna get worse. I think it's
Oh,
gonna get
it
worse
will.
before it get any. Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
It will, because you have people that are that are literally coming, and this is no offense to brother Larry, but there are people that keep coming to chats like this and everywhere trying to say, "Oh, well, it ain't that bad." I'm like, you must be out your GD mind to think that a man should live like that, let alone a man that has to provide for a family
Listen,
on $100 a week.
if
And
you
then
have
called lazy.
a brother, right, who's a drug dealer, right, at the end of the day, it's still your brother.
Yeah.
You still love your brother. Even though he's a criminal, he's still your brother. You still love your brother. So it's a compromising position to be in, to have someone that's close to you, someone that you care about, someone that is dear to you, do something so egregious and so heinous, and deal with the reality of that. Like, it kind of reminds me of Yeshua, when his family thought he was out of his mind. They thought he was crazy, preaching and teaching and doing all of this stuff, and showing out, and affronting the leadership, and embarrassing them, right? And rebuking them openly. They
Yeah.
thought he was crazy, so they saw him as an embarrassment to the family.
Yes.
And he was drawing attention to them, because
Yes.
I'm sure their friends were like, "Hey, isn't that your brother? Isn't that your son? Isn't that your nephew?" Right? So he was drawing this attention to his family, but when his family was trying to stop him, he says to those who were following him, Here is my mother. Here is my brother. It is those who do the will of my Father. And as believers, right, in the faith, that's what we're called to do. We're called to make that decision where we're going to hold allegiance to the truth, what the commandments say. What does the faith say? What does the scriptures say over all else in all things? Yeah.
I think Jesus, when he was 12, didn't he go off on his mother when he was 12? And
well, that's the and that was like the early thing, when she were looking for him during one of the feasts, right?
Yeah. Said, don't you know I must be in my Father's house?
He said woman. He said woman. He didn't call her mother. So, woman, don't you know?
Right, woman. Right.
Yeah,
Get
woman.
But I see the big issue is that even though these are brothers here, right? These are brothers that feel that they're above reproach. And that's where the big issue comes in, because they're lifting up someone who believes that he is above every single person. He believes his position on this planet is that of the Messiah. And men like that cannot they cannot be allowed to stand, because it's in fear that this will become a dictatorship that'll kind of just spread all across the country. I'm kind of starting to see almost what Nebuchadnezzar did. If you don't worship me, in the fire you go.
In the fire you go. I mean, that's been a common thing of men ruling, which is the reason why Yeshua told his disciples not to lord over the people. Even Peter says that, not to lord over the people. He told them, not to let people calling you rabbi or calling you master, or calling you teacher, right?
Father.
Because the whole idea of that is to prop yourself up as being an authority over people, as being, somehow in an authority over people. And, that's not how he wanted his disciples to disciple other people. And so now IE comes in as time goes on. You see this erode in the history of the church, particularly with the Roman Catholic Church, with the idea that you got to bow to the Pope, what I'm saying? Kiss his ring and all of that stuff and whatnot. Dignitaries, when they go visit him, they got to wear black, and all of that. So, so this has been a long-standing problem. With the pharaohs wanted to be worshipped, kings wanted to be worshipped, ancient kings. That's what they wanted to be, right? So, there's always been that proclivity within fallen man to want to make himself superior in some way, all sense, kind of a way. But Brother Varzilla said, "What's up, fellas? I proved the Bible verse, by the sweat of your brow you shall eat. I really sweated at work today." He says, "Thank God I made it through. I'm now in the cozy confines of an express bus."
Oh, he's on the bus.
He's on the bus, yeah. And man, listen, and I see the cues from an accused person, and it just makes him look more guilty in my eyes. Attacking a person's character by putting them down makes him look worse, and was shown to be contradictory. Yeah, it does. Right. It does. And and I can speak from it personally, because that's something that happened to me. It happened to me, in Christianity, for that matter. Church I was raised in, ever since childhood. And, I was one of the pastors in the church, and I saw it over the years. I saw how this man led, and, anyone that left the ministry, he would immediately get up in the pulpit behind the podium and assassinates the person's character. Assassinate the person. And so when it got to the point where I knew I had to leave, because it got to the point where I had to confront him on how things were being ran in practice, I knew it was going to be a need for parting ways. I already knew that he was going to assassinate my character, and he did that, and so those are tactics that leaders like this do. Jim Jones used to do it, David Koresh, a lot of the cult leaders, that's like a typical playbook. assassinate, and what it does for the people on the inside, it makes them afraid.
Fear.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the
It makes
fear
them
and-
afraid
yeah.
to be able to hold that leader accountable.
Right.
As you're speaking, as you're speaking, I'm reminded of what's his name again? Eric Gonzalez, I think.
Right.
I actually call him Eric the Hittite because he was treated like David and Uriah the Hittite. That's what happened to him.
Uriah the Hittite.
Yeah, Eric the Hittite. So, but what he said is when he was leaving, I think it's Rufus who told him, no matter what they say about you, don't worry about it. So, as if he was preparing him for the character assassination, which
Right.
actually
He
did
knew
follow.
that they were gonna say, he knew that that's the regular playbook.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
but
an
then why
atmosphere
do
like that,
you
that's
stay there? But why
Hmm.
would you stay there if you know that character assassination is part of the deal?
that
Why would
again,
you yourself stay
that
there?
goes back to being intimately involved.
Mm.
If a pastor is living in adultery and you're under that, and you have an affinity, a love, a connection, a bond, a relationship for you, it's just like I said, it's just like having a brother that sells drugs. He's a criminal, but yeah, he's still your brother.
Mhm.
How do you divorce yourself from that?
can't.
It's hard. It's not easy.
It's hard. I get it.
Especially if there's manipulations in the teachings. If there's false doctrines, and
Right.
there's been these tactics to make you be afraid.
Mhm.
That has been, like public humiliation, going to the internet because somebody messed up on the salad
The
bar.
salad.
You know what I'm saying? So somebody's wife messed up on the salad bar. So you go to the internet, you go to YouTube, and you make a video about this man and his wife.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You having a discrepancy with one of the brothers, or you have an issue with something that one of the brothers do, and now you on the internet talking about it. So it's quite natural. You got this big bullhorn. That's a bully tactic.
Mhm.
That's a bully tactic.
Yeah.
And really, it's cyberbullying.
Mhm.
Technically, if you really want to, parse it down,
Yeah.
it's cyberbullying. When
Mhm.
you rule your congregation by the fact that you can use this bullhorn, this big bullhorn that you have, you understand, to incite fear. If they say anything, that you will publicly humiliate them and
Yeah.
embarrass them.
Yes.
It's evil. It's wicked. It's wicked.
It's evil. Yeah.
It's
I've been
wicked.
saying this
There's
all
it's
day.
no excuse for it.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree. And I've been saying this all day, man. Like, Straightway needs to learn how to shut up.
Mm.
I've never seen a man talk so goddamn much like a woman. And then so much so to go on another man's stream and say, well, you need to cut your hair, woman. How about you just shut up and do what you're supposed to do? Because then people wouldn't be able to find out all this information.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But it's the culture. That's the problem. Like, I mean, like for instance, we have culture about us, right? Even coming on this live stream, we talk about scripture, we talk about the word, we'll joke around with each other and stuff. There's a culture here, right? How do you turn it off? Like, it'll be hard to turn it off. Just think about your culture, like whatever types of food that you eat, what are the things that you like to do and so forth, with the places that you go, you frequent and what have you, the restaurants that you eat at or what have you. How do you just turn that off? And so this is the culture of Straightway. They are so accustomed to so-called, as Pastor Dow would say it, have everything in the open, telling the world. Like, his idea of the ministry dealing with the issue with Pastor Rufus, or the saints from Georgia going to Tennessee to talk about how they feel about what Pastor Rufus, so-called, quote unquote, did in this 4-hour stream. His idea of that being private was on his Patreon, where anybody in the public can pay for. Anybody can pay $100, right? Which is what he was charging, right? to go on. So really, it's open to the public, because that's what the whole ministry is ran. Everything, the services, how you handle people in terms of, embarrassing them and stuff and whatnot. You got an issue with one saint, now You got to say that on YouTube.
Right.
And so you airing out your dirty laundry all the time. So this is the culture. So this is what the people know.
Right.
So they're only following what they see their leader do. So, you know, so now they coming in on the chats, right? Because this is what they're accustomed. This is what they see their leader do. You know,
wow.
It's crazy.
I never noticed how messy. Honestly, God, I never noticed how messy they. When I say messy, like they proclaim excellence and moving according to the Bible, and now it's all coming out for that to have been a lie. Right. You know, these people are just as worldly as Geno Jennings. He had a real hard on for Geno Jennings for the past 2 years. Right. And you know, he just as bad. Right. You know,
again, Geno Jennings' thing is about taking tithes, right? But it's not about him taking people whole checks. So he's worse than Geno Jennings. He's worse than Creflo Dollar. You can't even talk about Geno Jennings. You can't even utter Geno Jennings. You can't even talk about Geno Jennings on the doctrine of marriage and remarriage, which is what he was trying to debate him on for 3 months. Like he was starving for a debate. And what? You living and sleeping with, and you took on another man's wife after you kicked them out. Like, yo, you can't even talk about Geno Jennings. You're worse than him.
Somebody made a very important comment about this guy, and it's that he's built his whole reputation, he's built his whole ministry off of going after people, and so basically his whole reputation and his whole ministry is built off of his arrogance. Right. Well, I'll go ahead and debate you, and I'll beat you in a debate. Well, let's go test that boast. And when Geno didn't bite, he had to keep going at him.
He was getting frustrated too. He was getting frustrated because Geno, it was like he was like begging him to debate him. You know, he understood that Geno like had some flaws and some holes in his doctrine as a reference to divorce and remarriage. Right. And he just kept wanting to, and on polygamy. So he kept wanting to have the debate so that he can embarrass him, because that's the whole point. You know, even with the previous debates that he did. Oh, I wiped the floor with him. Oh, it was a bloodbath. What I did with that preacher up in Wisconsin. And then you have the other one, you know, and so it's all about pride, because you never seen the Apostle Paul, whenever he debated any of the Hebrews in the synagogues, he never bragged about how he, you know, wiped the floor with them or what have you. Like that's carnal.
Yeah, because it wasn't about that.
Carnal.
It's childish.
It was about you learning.
Right.
That's not what it is here, but you hit it on the head, Brother Allen. Pride. I saw that spirit. With the debate with Brother Rainbow. Right. That man has so much pride. He can feel the Atlantic. All the pride that he has.
Yeah, he said, bro, you still have my other account banned on your channel XD. I don't understand it.
That's what Noah's at.
Who is he talking to?
XD is an emoji. He's laughing.
Oh, he's making it's a joke. See, I'm slow. Listen, y'all see the gray hair. I'm old, man. It went way over my head.
That went over my head too.
I'm old. Brethren. Yo, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
The terrorist has arrived. The terrorist. No, I just want to know. Y'all jumped into a whole segment about a half an hour. Did they have to deal with? Because I came in on like a couple minutes later. Are we on the prescriptive?
Yeah, we are. So this is the pre-game. Listen. This is a man cave, man. This is where we hang out at, bro.
But I missed it. I missed the whole because Yeah,
you don't know what's going on. All right.
It's an internal thing.
No. It's not. He. I don't think he knows. I'm sure he knows of him. You've heard of Pastor Dow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a big world. He's in a world of shit right now.
What happened? It came back. It came back on him or something.
He kicked out one of his pastors and give him 30 days to move off the land, publicly shaming him, humiliating him and stuff and whatnot. And but the pastor made a video and another elder from the church along with him, you know, concurring and backing up this pastor. He left straightway, you know, voluntarily.
Right.
And so he
But from this situation, because of this situation, he left.
Right, from this situation, right.
It was
so
unrighteous.
Right, it was unrighteous. And so, you know, Pastor Dow, you know, he got an ego. And so he had to clap back. And then when he clapped back, then Brother Ringo, you familiar with Ringo TV? Yeah, Ringo TV, you know, didn't like what he was seeing. And so he made a video and he was kind of like pleading with Pastor Dow to make it right. You know, brother, because the pastor that got kicked out, he's like, he want reconciliation. He wants his opportunity to come before the congregation.
Out of love.
You know, Pastor Dow was like, he's finished. As far as I'm concerned,
no love.
I don't.
No love.
Basically, he's banished. Like he sent them to hell. He sent them to hell. That's what he did. Right. He has the power. He has the power to send them to hell. Right. Right. He's so high, he can send him to hell. Look, we all gotta forgive, but he don't have to forgive.
He don't
have right.
He don't have to forgive. Right. So that's how he's speaking. Like the door is shut. And so when he did, you know, Ringo made this video, Dow didn't like it. So Dow made a video and tried to act like he didn't know who Ringo was and titled it Little Man Ringo. Like, who is he? You know, with this to that. Yo, that's the wrong person. Yo, Ringo made like a 7-hour stream almost. With documentation, emails between him and Dow going all the way back 2006, 2007, right?
Wow.
Where he helped Dow with his channel, all of that, right? Yo, just exposing him like we have a long-standing relationship, but he's going to present to the public like he don't even know who I am, you know. And so then Dow tried to clap back again.
And that's it.
That's it. And so now different people coming out talking about how they were treated in a similar way with straightway. And you know, and so now where it's at is the fact that Pastor Dow, his second wife, is the wife of another man that he threw out the ministry. And so he's currently living in adultery. Right. Right.
He wrecked the marriage, took the wife, got the man out. Gave him $100.
Wait, was she
no limit says Dow fell for the trap. He said Ringo has content all year now with this.
So No Limit MD is here because I saw him in the other chat. So he also
Wow.
Yeah, so that's it's strange that you missed it, Daniel. It's strange that you missed it because this is all over YouTube. Within the Hebrew,
right?
Well, I've listened to Brother Dow. You know, he's rough. He's rough anyway. He come out like a sergeant and major. You know, he come out hard. And you know, people sense the arrogancy, and I sensed his arrogancy. So once you exalt yourself, there's going to be a humbling point that God is going
to
bring you back down. So, He will
bring witnessing it in real time. So
what he said, he didn't take James' wife, he took Eric's wife. Yeah, that's what my understanding. That he took Eric's wife.
Eric the Hittite. That's why I say Eric the Hittite.
Eric the Hittite. Yeah. It says Eric Gonzalez, right? That's the one that was in the video today. That was the one in the video today, right? Right. Yeah. That was my understanding because that's what he said in his testimony. And Manuel said for some reason James' wife didn't want to leave with him and their son, which is very questionable.
Who's James?
This is another person. This is another person who left and right.
Oh,
is this a compound? Do they live on a compound or something?
Yeah, but Manilo said that was James in the video. So in the video, that wasn't Eric. That wasn't Eric Gonzalez.
That wasn't Eric in the video. I watched it from the beginning, maybe the first half hour on, and then stopped maybe at the 2 hours.
Manila said the white guy. Which white guy now is he talking
about?
I'm
talking about the Spanish guy.
The Spanish guy. That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah, the Spanish guy. Right.
Spanish
Eric Gonzalez. That is Nelly's husband.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking
who's in Dow's house right now. That's Nelly's husband.
Right now, as we speak, she said.
Yeah,
Yes,
right,
this is
right.
the
So
guy.
yeah, he says, yeah, Eric is a Hispanic guy, Nelly is the wife.
Yes,
Do
that's the one
well
we're talking
is
about.
That's
So
in
Dowell, he
adultery wife,
means
right?
Dowell. Dowell.
Right, right.
He
He
played
played
Eric in a
Eric in a
video.
video. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Right. Ringo played a video ever. Right. That's what we talking about,
Yes,
bro. Yeah.
that's what
Yeah,
we're
we on
talking
the
about.
same page. We on the same page.
That's
Yeah,
why
it's a
I
big
said
mess, man. It's a big mess.
sound like a reality show to me.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
big mess, man.
you can write this
Yeah.
stuff. No, I'm telling you can write this stuff.
Yeah, it's a big mess, man. It's a
Yeah.
big mess. But but in anything, we ain't even open up in prayer, man. We just started off on fire, man.
And with 36 minutes
Yeah,
already.
that's right. Oh, who are they
We
accusing?
we
Who's being
we,
brought
we didn't even
before the Sanhedrin Council, yo?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just
The high
sitting back
council.
and laughing about it and being entertained right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Manolo, you need to check it out, man.
From the beginning. It's
Yeah.
more in the
I said the
beginning.
whole scandal sounds like a Lifetime movie writing. It is, man.
Itself,
Somebody can
it's
literally
itself.
make somebody can literally
I
not
agree
only
with
that,
you, Manolo.
yo, he was in the military. You understand?
Yeah, the whole backstory.
Airborne, all of that.
So if
But
this
his
country,
loins always burn for her.
And the whole story of how he started this, and then with the polygamy and how it all that looks in the eyes of the public, yo, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Woo, take a deep
Man.
breath. Take a
something.
deep breath. Take a deep breath. All right. So, welcome everyone to Masculinity Mondays once again. Mike Allen and my brothers, my friends on the panel with me, rocking with me today. And we, as we normally do, we're going to get into our topic, but I'm gonna ask Brother D, the Rebel Rouser, to open us up with a word of prayer.
I think all of the panel to some extent kind of went rebel today.
It's
had too
passion.
much to drink.
It's
From the
passion.
jump.
You got back up today.
You guys are full with energy today. I can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go before the throne of the Most High.
The most
Yeah.
Father, we
Yes.
Father, we love you. We appreciate you. Oh, we give you all the glory and all the honor, Yahweh. We ask right now as we gather together all across the nation, the world, and amongst ourselves, that we come with the honest, sincere heart, wanting to know what your desire for us and how you want us to live and conduct our lives, and how we want to be in a search for the truth that you've revealed to us. Father, and where we've come short, we ask that your grace will kick in for us again in your mercy. And Father, just help us to be those followers of your teaching, led through your son, Yeshua, to show us the example of how to live. Father, be with us now as we join together and we reason together as men, so that the world can see the light in us. We ask you these and all other prayers in the name of your son, Yeshua. Amen.
Amen. Good
Amen.
prayer. Solid
Amen.
prayer,
Amen.
brother. Solid
I
prayer.
have a question. I gotta ask a question.
Yeah.
So I see that, but I see Daniel is eager to get to the topic. Is there something special about this topic? Eager to get to the
Because
topic.
because he did the prayer, he became the rebel today.
Since we're talking about revealing or
became the
revelations
rebel.
tonight,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the connection, bro? What's the
Let's
connection?
be open. No, I just you know what I discovered today. I was reading about prescriptive monogamy, and I discovered that the Chinese, which they got like 2 billion people, they didn't start practicing monogamy until like the 1950s. Then they switched it over to they went to a concubinage type of system that they have. Because I was wondering why are there so many of them? It had to be where the one man had several wives for it to grow and be this. I think it's like 2 billion Chinese or Asian or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So I was like, other countries have taken on that, but I think our indoctrination with Catholicism and the Roman Greco has really got us to believe that a man is only supposed to, have but one, which leads to men thinking that they're wrong by wanting another wife. And I think that opens it up on the discussion of today.
It is a personal thing then. Yeah, it's personal.
Well, I'm straight up, and my wife knows I'm straight up, and that's probably why we, going through some stuff now. But I'm straight up. I believe because I've seen Father Abraham have more than one, and I've seen, all through the Bible, and I've studied because everybody wants to flip to the New Testament. That's one thing I want to be brought out early, because that's something that, because I invited people on, that's something that I want them to deal with, is that 1 Corinthians 7, because that's the one they pull the card on, and with Titus and Timothy about the elder having one wife, and to define what prescriptive. I know last week when I wasn't here, that you gave the definition of prescriptive monogamy, and monogamy, and I want that to be discussed from the outset so people will have the definition.
Well, if I may interject, thank you for segueing us, my brother. Respectfully, thank you for segueing us, because that's exactly what I was gonna do, but I wanted to present the topic to ease us into it.
Oh, okay.
So that we'll have a certain flow, right?
Okay.
But no, we definitely
he came so fully ready, brother.
Yeah, I can tell.
You didn't
loaded. No, locked and loaded.
He came with an outline. And guess what? We went off script. Because we was talking about Dow, right?
Exactly.
He clearly said, "What is the title? Are we on the title yet?"
Yeah, right.
But we need an intro
tonight, guys. That's not on the schedule tonight.
Yeah, that's not in the scheduled programming,
All right.
But are we going to, based on this, the name of this stream? Do we get into Titus and?
I don't know we'll see how the discussion flows, but I mean, let's at least try to introduce the topic for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to you see Shalom. I just want to make sure these brothers get the greetings. And Gino looked like the wiser one just by staying quiet, and that's scriptural.
Gino won.
He says, "Bro, you still have my mother account banned on your channel, XD." All right. Nope. Sabot.
Why nope, Sabot? Does it finish him? Do you mean fatality? What are you talking about?
And he says, "Are you familiar with the argument of sex being in heaven or not being? All the pastors say there is not. The Roman Catholic Church started the purity moment in the 19th century, so that is why they thin. That's why they thin." It says, "Shalom, saints of Yah." All right, and Noah says it is a very Gnostic view to think there is not, when you know God called that very good before the fall. All the pastors say that the same opinion, though don't want to be controversial. All right, it says shalom. All right, shalom. All right, and Noah is, they always like to use Matthew 22:30 to say there is not that what Jesus was talking about. All right, so these guys had they went on, right? Oh no, we did that already. We already did all that. But this one was he says the Roman Catholic Church is why people are so against the idea, talking about polygyny, right? And he says, what do you guys think? And then No Limit says, no, my man need answers fast, right? And then Manilo says Kevin Hart. In other words, Kevin Hart is gonna play Nelly, he says. In the Netflix movie, if they do a Netflix movie on Straightway. Yeah, that's wrong. It says
Oh,
Catholic,
that's wrong on so many levels. That's
Oh, yeah, back with that.
so
Catholic
wrong.
Church played a big role in that, right? Okay, let's get to the topic. All
Okay,
right.
yeah. What's the topic?
All right.
Let's
So
go through.
tonight's topic, if you haven't gotten a chance to peek it, is how prescriptive monogamy leads men to be sneaking out.
And then again on the thumbnail, it's a guy that's creeping. He's checking.
Oh, he's
Can I-
creeping out. Oh, you want to take a look at that one? Let me see if I can
So
pull it
I
up.
saw it.
Yeah,
And
hold
it's
on a
like,
second.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they
let me
look
try
like.
Let me try to pull it up. Hold on a second.
So he's
Hold
checking
on.
is she gone? Is she maybe his wife is going to the store or something? So it's
Right.
Can I
Right.
creep?
Sneak.
Can I dash?
Right. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I might have to do it on the other screen. You guys can still see me?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Still see me? All right. So let me
but-
present screen. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen.
As you're looking for it, Daniel, are you now? Can you explain prescriptive monogamy? So do you understand it? What it means?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's the
Yes,
that's
him.
that's it right there.
That's him. He's checking. Is she gone?
Yeah.
Can I go? Can I do it?
Yeah.
And it's where he's headed. He wants to go and check out the other woman.
Yeah.
And he wants to be his wife.
Is the coast clear? He just wants to know if the coast is clear. That's all he needs.
He don't want to get hit in the head with a frying pan.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah.
You don't want to get hit in the head with a frying pan. That's what it is, man. That's what it is.
Man,
All right.
it is.
All right.
to
So
see.
yeah.
But
So
this
okay.
is the reality of a lot of men.
All right. So since you asked the question, what is meant by prescriptive monogamy, guys? Or if you want to answer that, brother Daniel.
Yeah, let's see what Daniel.
Uh,
Because he asked.
Since you ready for the topic. Yeah. He ain't let us continue our Dow conversation, man. Since you cut into
Dowell is
you
happy.
stop.
Yo, I could have cut the TV on for that, man.
Dowell should have been
He's like, I
happy.
came out here for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, yes, but I'm listening.
Mhm.
Yeah,
go ahead,
well,
brother.
I believe it's a belief which people claim to be a biblical belief that it's mandatory that you only have one man to one woman in a marriage situation. That it is anti-polygyny, where it is one man to several wives.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it's something that they say is mandatory because it was a rule, I guess, from way back then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
that
What do you guys say to that?
Yes, and then who made it mandatory?
Who made it mandatory? Yeah, and I think that alludes to if I'm not mistaken, that was Noah's question. Let me pull it up. He wanted to know.
That's his question. Because I
Yeah,
see.
Manilow says Catholic Church played a big role in that, and
Right.
and then Noah says, and sex being in heaven, the Roman Catholic Church is why people are against that. They think it is nothing but a necessary evil, right? That marriage in and of itself is a necessary evil. I would like your guys' opinion when you have time to, and don't want to interrupt you too much, right? Okay.
Yeah.
No,
all right, but yeah, so
the questions don't interrupt.
yeah, so the answer to the question, brother, Daniel, what is meant by prescriptive monogamy?
Mandatory one-on-one,
Yes.
one man for one woman in a marriage contract.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
and it's
the word-
mandatory from the so-called religious authorities.
the religious
Yes.
authority.
Okay.
And what about the state?
The state,
because the state doesn't
right.
have to be
It goes
religious.
into the
Okay.
Is that predominantly across the world? Is it predominantly?
Well, it is definitely where all of you have Western imperialism or
Right.
colonialism has pretty much conquered for the most part. but that's not all of the world. I mean, there's still other parts of the world. Like the world is very big. There's other parts of the world that's not the case, that prescriptive monogamy is necessarily the standard rule.
Right.
You would.
But-
Right.
But actually, the whole thing is a sham, because even in the Western world, they use the word prescriptive monogamy, but men are doing that from the thumbnail. They check in, is the coast clear, and then they go to another woman. So
Yeah.
what are we doing?
It's happening.
What are we even doing?
All right. Noah said that was not my question. So what is the question, Noah? Rephrase the question, and then
The
I want to
sex
make
in
sure that we're
heaven?
clear on it. You know,
Is it sex in
When
heaven?
did
Is
it
that the
start?
question?
yeah. Is there sex in heaven? Is that the question?
Is that the question?
So
Because
sex is
I
here on
think
earth.
so.
You know, if you read the Bible, we're not going to have penises or vaginas when we go up there. The purpose of
Wait a
sex
minute.
is
Wait a
just
minute.
for us to reproduce.
Okay.
Yes, but so it was good. You shall multiply was given to us before the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But
And replenish the earth.
there was a
Right.
man and a
Yes.
woman in the garden, right? Before
Right.
the fall.
Right. Yeah.
We
I mean,
don't know.
well,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean,
Maybe Adam
the
did
thing
some
is,
things.
the thing is that you would have to show scripture. Now, if you're gonna, you're gonna have to show scripture on it. What scripture? What passage is actually? I do know that yes, that Yeshua made the point in Matthew 22 that's often used, that there would be no marriage in the kingdom. You know,
Right.
and so that is what I do know. And I
Right.
have heard other perspectives that there will be, and even that angels mate or have the ability to reproduce, because i.e. the Nephilim account, right?
Right.
In
But
Genesis 6. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but the problem is they were coming to him asking a question to get him. So he was probably baiting and switching them. So I don't know what the situation is. The one thing I can say is maybe when he says there's no marriage, meaning there's no need for a contract because people keep their word in the kingdom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you could go any way you want. But one thing
Okay.
I do know is from the beginning, he says you shall multiply, and it's not after the curse. You multiply. That's the system.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think there's sex in it. Strange.
Right.
I know it's strange, but I think it is.
Right. Well, I don't want to get too deep into it. Definitely that would be something that's neat. Something to really dig more into, but I really want to get back to the topic. And we do
That
have a
could be
topic for
a
tonight.
Shabbat morning.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely talk on it another time. I mean, if you want, we could talk about this next week. I'm down for it. But let's get back to the topic, because I know that there's people that are actually viewing in on the stream who came for the topic that we have at hand.
Okay.
So I don't want to be disrespectful to them. So yeah, so you guys agree that prescriptive monogamy is mandatory monogamy? You guys on the panel with what Daniel said?
No, I think people think it's mandatory, but it is not mandatory. People think
No,
it's mandatory.
is that the definition of it?
That's the definition. Yes.
Yeah, that is the definition of it. Right. Okay.
One man
So
for one woman.
do you guys agree? Right, Derek?
Yeah, I would like to add a little extra to that. What he mentioned, I would say it's just like a prescribed medication that they give you, not necessarily required, but it's a custom, set, westernized, backed up politically,
right?
Through legal documents, to other sources to follow through them.
Right.
Regarding if it's all in the world, no. I was able to look up a company called Travel Noir, just to give them credit on that. It's about 5 countries that polygamy is legal in the world. Only 5 out of the many countries that they are aware that is legally binded within their customs and also within their books.
Right, and that's that's only recent, because that's only because of the expansion of Western imperialism. That's the
Are
only
they Muslim
reason why.
countries?
Right.
Most
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. There's Muslim
That's-
countries.
Most of them are
Yeah, because
I
a
was
few of them are in Africa.
I was surprised on that one, brother Rapaholic.
Yeah, no. Well, a lot of the
They're not Muslim countries.
right.
These are
I
just
mean,
surprise me, so they're not.
not all are. Out of the 5,
Okay.
not all of them are.
Okay.
right.
Well,
That's,
like I brought up earlier,
that's your
the
homework
Chinese.
for today.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
the word,
thank you, man.
the word prescriptive is an order. It's a command. That's
It's a
what it.
command.
That's what it means, right? So when you say doctor's orders, that's what a prescription is. It's the doctor's orders, right?
You have
So
to.
it is a command, and so it is monogamy that is commanded, and it is a command. All right, and so now, what is the difference between monogamy from prescriptive monogamy? And that would be, you guys, anyone want to take a crack at it? Brother Jay, Jeremy, what's the difference between monogamy and prescriptive monogamy?
Hold on one second. Okay, difference between monogamy and prescriptive monogamy. Prescriptive monogamy has really been forced on us by religious leaders and conventional societal things, TV programming, things like that.
Right.
Just regular monogamy is just when two people make the decision without outside influence that, I'm just going to be with you.
Yeah. So regular monogamy can be more so like voluntary monogamy or volitional monogamy, right? Right. Okay. You guys agree with that? Voluntary monogamy is voluntary monogamy, right?
Yeah.
Somebody got, that's Hebrew, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
back
back.
one.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now, all right, since we answered that question, what, in terms of our title, what is meant by men sneaking out, or in other words, cheating? What is meant by cheating? What does cheating mean? Or sneaking
Cheating
out?
means the other person don't know.
It means the other
cheating.
person don't know. Right.
Right.
Okay.
But if
they
you
don't
let
know
them
what did they
You
don't
you
know?
don't know
Like,
that you stepping out on them.
what does
You
stepping
don't know
out
they
mean?
stepping out.
What is
They
cheating?
stepping out
Cheating
on you,
on
vice
cheating on a
versa.
test, an exam? What
You
cheating
breaking
on
the
what?
covenant?
Yeah, what cheating on
James
what?
Bond.
Is it
Eating the
is it
cookies?
actually called
What?
cheating when is it actually called cheating when a man already told his wife or his girlfriend that he's gonna step out on it? Do you consider that still cheating? And they
No,
know
no,
about
She
it?
never
No.
finds out.
No. No. I want, for the record, I want us to define the term.
Okay,
When you
I'm
He's
gonna give
cheating,
you the
assuming.
when you
He's
cheating on somebody,
assuming.
they don't know.
No. They don't know
No.
what.
They don't
What
know
is it
you're
that they
stepping
don't
out on
know?
them.
What does stepping out mean? What is the definition?
I got
That's
the
what I'm
Leaving your
definition.
relationship, fooling around behind their back.
With the fooling around. So he
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
That's
that
what I'm
I
looking
was
for.
gonna say that, but a bit more raw. So he's
Right,
going to have sex with another woman without his wife's knowledge.
without his wife's knowledge. So that is sneaking out, and that is
Stepping
cheating,
out,
right?
cheating.
What is culturally known, right? Does everybody agree with those definitions? That definition?
I would add something extra to that, because I feel that you don't necessarily need to be intimate with someone to be intimate. I think when you pursue and you connect with the person on a mental level and also on a spiritual level, and you guys connect in a certain way, and them, your wife or the person you're with is not aware of that. There's different ways to be intimate. I think that's just a physical act at that point. It needs to be a mental act where she wants to willingly give herself to you.
Okay.
So you mean the dating sites are wrong? I mean, what you trying to say?
It's all cheating.
Pretty much was clear in that figuring right there.
Cheating. It's all cheating. Then.
I was trying to be good just for 1 week.
I know
I gotta be the rebel.
I was real reserved about that.
You will not accept.
Let me start deleting. I gotta start deleting right now.
I was trying to be political, but it didn't hold up too long.
You don't have to. What it would be very. No. It just send me a reminder. Just send me a reminder. Put the title, in a text message, and then I'll create the thumbnail for it. That's all. No problem, bro. No sweat, baby. All right.
You forget about looking at other women. Apparently, there's cheating in America and in the Philippines.
Say that again,
So
brother.
if you're looking at other women, you're cheating.
I said looking at other women is cheating in America and in the Philippines.
and in the Philippines. Oh, so just looking at another woman is just, so even would that include pornography?
Yep.
Mm.
Okay, then what if you're at the beach and they're wearing bathing suits? You can't help but see it. Or you then cheating?
Well, really, in a technical sense, what do you guys say?
As a man, I'd say no.
Yeah, but we're speaking then.
Okay,
I'm
you know what?
talking
You know what?
cultural.
This might be a different Noah. I'm thinking that is the Noah that's usually on the panel.
Oh,
with us.
it's a
Yeah,
different
it's
Noah.
got to be a different Noah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
because I
different
was
Noah.
like,
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
like kind of wondering. Okay, yeah, Noah,
just
you
love
can
your
email
stream.
me. I'll put my email up. I'll put my email up on
Yeah.
the screen, Noah. Just email me.
Yeah, he's different. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can talk further on it. All right. So yeah, just email me and then we can put it up on the screen.
So now I understand. I thought he was asking the question simply to instigate a back and forth, but he really wants to know. So it's a different
Yeah, he really
Noah.
wants to know. That's a topic that he
Yeah.
really wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we could definitely touch on that, man. Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah,
I look at those pictures,
and granted, any of you brothers that want to have a topic that you want us to talk about on here on the panel and to have as a discussion with the brothers, definitely any topic as relating to polygyny, marriage, what have you, and you want us to touch on, you want us to talk about, yo, just send me an email. My email is right here on the screen, and we can definitely make it into a topic, man, because it's good that we talk about topics that you guys want to talk about. I mean, I sometimes I run out of topics. The brothers know it'd be like the day of. I'm like, I'm coming up with something, man. So if there's something that you guys want to talk about, just let me know, man, and I'll definitely create a stream for it for sure. Definitely. Yeah. So he says, nice, man. Yeah. Somebody else put something else.
I think that
spiritual
topic
adultery
would be good.
Yes,
Be good to get into.
Say that again, brother. Jeremy, I can't hear you.
I said I think that topic would be good to get into.
Oh, for sure. It's deep.
Put in there. Yep.
Yeah, it's deep. Yeah, it's definitely deep. So it's definitely something that we could definitely dig into for sure. And I could definitely see that'll be definitely a good one for us to touch on. Right. So where do we leave off, guys? Help me out.
We were talking about the levels of cheating.
Yeah.
And it kind of depends on how you look at it. From a man's point of view, the bathing suit thing is not cheating because you know how we're wired. From a woman's point of view, it's cheating.
Right.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, yes.
All right. Well, I mean, Yeshua did say, if a man looks on a woman, right, that is something that right. So if cheating, if cheating, is something that's bad, right? Then can it start in the heart by just looking?
Yeah, I mean the eyes are they say it's a window into the soul.
Okay.
So if so, then I've been cheating all day.
Well, for me, it's a little bit different.
You confess, huh? He confessed.
I confess.
He don't want Ringo to.
It's all out there.
For my,
he don't want no smoke from Ringo.
Yo, but I'm looking at what you just said now. If adultery,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. If adultery,
no, go ahead, brother Daniel.
All right. If it's another man's wife, then the only time you be cheating is if you're lusting after another man's wife.
Right.
And you know that it's another.
No. But what the idea of
desiring a woman?
No, the Western idea.
Yeah, the Western idea of cheating is that you have a wife, you have a woman that you're in relationship, and you are sneaking out to get with a woman other than the woman that you're in a relationship with. That's the Western idea. Because again, going back to the definition of prescriptive monogamy, right? Is that you can only have one woman.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been
right. So that's what led us to that. So that's really what that really simply means. So and so the question on that I have from that is, where did this concept of cheating come from?
Okay, this
Well,
I don't know.
But if you listen to Sister Shahrazad Ali, she said that came from a European concept.
Yeah.
And not
European.
back in Africa, we were more polygamous. And,
Yeah.
and it wasn't just there in Africa. I mean, you guys mentioned earlier about China or the Chinese
Yeah.
doing it for a certain amount of time.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, Manilo says I really got to get on the panel one day, but I believe that verse was leading back to Torah talking of a married woman. So that's the one about looking onto a woman and having the lust inside your heart, committing adultery inside your heart. He says, I saw a woman in the grocery store and had the feeling like, man, if she would follow the Most High more my way, I would recruit her, right? He says even some of the societies of Europe have polygamy. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that they didn't. I was using Shahrazad Ali as an example.
That's the origin of it.
First person that I've heard, even try to suss out the origin. But I would say it originally started with the Roman Catholic Church. Because they wanted to control the population so that a nation would not rise up, kind of like what they did back in Egypt.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that it is a mean of population control.
It's a mean of population control, but also spiritual control. Because we know that the Hebrews or the Jews, they were polygamists. So they had multiple wives and also multiple children.
Right.
Taking away that part of the culture, you cut the culture in half.
Right.
And make it more manageable, and you're able to trap them in spiritual bondage easier. Take away their God, supposedly.
Right. Yeah, definitely the Hebrew community suffered persecution during the earlier stages of the Roman Catholic Church because of their practice of polygamy. And then in turn they started making policy, against it and whatnot. So yeah, they definitely suffered, as a result. They were heavily persecuted for it. Yeah.
I would want to add something extra to what Brother Jeremy said. I would say also is not only that they stop the population control, is also it stagnates the economy and the growth and the generational what that you can have. Because when you create, let's say, a business, we see an example as Johnson and Johnson, that has always been a family business, no matter who is running it.
Right.
The family has that generational wealth for their family in the future. Right. So if you create anything, any kind of business, you don't have the ability to exercise that finances. You don't need to ask the government for any help. You don't need to ask anybody for anything. You can self-employ your own family. And build it much stronger. So it also affects the financial aspect of things.
And I can say that's one of the good things you do hear about Straightway, how they are setting up communities of networks of their own people doing their own thing. You usually see that around their feast days. So you are absolutely right there, Brother Derek.
Wow. Yes. All right. So an interesting thing, I found an article in terms of where cheating actually came from. Where did the term cheating even come from? That's the question, right? So I'm gonna draw our attention to this article that I found online, so that we can go through this. Let me pull her up. Okay, so this is in a website, the Pacific Standard, right? And they deal with anything from economics, education, environment, social justice, and so forth, whatnot. And this is an article that they did on a cheater's history. So I'm going to enlarge it so we can see it. Can you let me know when it becomes clearer to you guys?
Yep.
It's good. All right.
Yep.
Good. All right. So it says a cheater's history of cheating. For all the meanings it can have today, cheat evolved from a very specific multi-syllabic word that's only vaguely connected to the one we use now, right? So this is a document, right? Here in the United States, it is a jury finding in Kentucky County, Virginia County Court from an inquest of esquayat. Now that's a French word, which is where we get the word cheat from, right? As you see, the suffix of the word is the word cheat, right? Or the root of the word is the word cheat, right?
Mm.
And so it says, I can't remember the first time I heard the word cheat, but I do remember the first time I was caught cheating in the middle of a test in the 7th grade history class, faced with the question I couldn't answer. My eyes landed upon the classmate's paper. Realizing what I was doing, I returned to my own test. But when the class ended, my teacher confronted me. This is a very serious business, he said. Jennifer, did you cheat? Near tears, I explained that it had been an accident. I hadn't meant to, right? So anybody ever accidentally cheated before? Right. It says, and I
Accidentally.
Nope, I slipped into it.
I slipped and fell into a bed with a woman. Yeah.
and I stopped before I even started. He forgave me. And no, she said she stopped before she even started. So have you ever accidentally cheated and stopped before you started? So she said,
Maybe the second or third time.
and he forgave me, and I kept my eyes to my own work. After that, until senior year, when I cheated numerous times by writing calculus equations on the back of my calculator, they weren't the answers exactly. And later, still by kissing a boy other than my boyfriend. Sorry. The thing that fascinated me is that the sexual infidelity sense doesn't come up until the 20th century. So the use of the word cheating is still relatively new.
Yeah.
In fact, it's not even 100 years old that this term, the term cheat, created a nuance, or there was a nuance created for infidelity, because that's really what cheating that we were defining earlier means. It's having infidelity or an unfaithfulness within your relationship, right?
But,
You guys
Brother
agree?
Mike,
Yeah, go
before you
ahead.
continue, before you
Mhm.
continue, it until now it's still in line with Torah because it's a woman doing this.
Yeah, but is that
It's
the
not equated to
definition?
men.
Is that the definition of prescriptive monogamy?
No. My point is, it started only with women. It's just a woman. She's kissing her boyfriend. It's not. It doesn't focus on a man doing anything. Only
Right.
woman. And our sense of adultery is if a woman is married and has another sex with another. So she's
Right.
in line actually with what we have learned from here until up till now.
You talking about in this article
Yes, this article.
that she's in line with? No, she's actually talking about what when she says infidelity, she's talking from a Western perspective.
Right.
Oh, so in
Yeah,
her
she's
mind it
not.
fits
Yeah,
for men
yeah,
also.
right. So she's saying the term that's used, infidelity, in a relationship wasn't, in fact, that's really when it's used the first time in the 20th century, right? I think around 1937. I think it was a poem or a movie, right? It
Yes.
was in reference to a man being a cheater.
Okay, so that then it's wrong.
Right. So the term that evolved into the 20th century evolved with prescriptive monogamy Western ideology or or connotations, if you guys know what I mean. Right.
Yeah.
So the
And
Oxford
mixed with
English,
egalitarianism. Yeah.
right. So the Oxford English Dictionary first citation for cheat dates from 1377. So that's the first time that the word is
Cheat.
that's the etymology of the word, right? Cheat.
Yes.
When it referred to property which falls to the lord or the landlord of the fee by way of forfeit, fine, or lapse. So what does that mean? Under the feudal systems of the Middle Ages, right, or the what they considered the Dark Ages, right? You had these landlords who owned the land, and they would allow people to live on the land, but they had to produce grain and in turn give that grain to the landlord, right, as a fee in order to be
Yeah.
able to stay on the land, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like sharecropping, right?
Feudalism. Yeah.
Right.
Like
And
straight
so that's feudalism, right? Exactly.
Mhm.
So if you are if you have a lease on the land, right? You're not the landowner, you're the leaseholder on the
Mhm.
land, and you don't have any children, you don't have any heirs, right? The land reverts back to the landlord.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? It reverts back to
Yes,
the Lord.
yes.
And so you lose that land by forfeit, and that is called the first citation for cheat dates from 1377 when it referred to property which falls to the landlord. So cheat is property that falls back to the landlord in the
So
original
it's not
definition. So
negative.
it wasn't a negative connotation in terms of but it's negative in the sense that, you know, we work this land and everything, and now it's just going to go back to, right, because we don't have any children, so it's going to go back to, like, we can't just sell it to whom we want to sell it to, so to say, right. So if arose a shortening of esquiat, which is the French word where it comes from, a word from feudal law stating that property should revert to a lord in the case of a tenant dying without a qualified successor. Neither of those uses makes for modern day cheat. So that's not a modern day concept of cheating. When we think of cheating, that's not what we're thinking about, right? But esquiat must have been looked upon unfavorably, probably by the tenants in that arrangement, as I said. So the tenants didn't like it. You get what I'm saying? The property reverting back to the Lord. They didn't like that. Like, they wanted to be able to say, well, okay, before I die, let me maybe donate the money to whomever, or sell it to somebody, or let a cousin come in on if I don't have any children, then I lose the property, you know. So that they didn't like that. So let me go back. So the word developed a clear negative connotation by the 1500s, and its original usage became obsolete. Esquiat formed into cheat the same way we get squire from esquire, explains OED editor Catherine Connor Martin. The original word here is from feudalism. It's a dry legal way of taking hold of some property, but it goes in a different direction and begins to have a sense of illegitimacy about it. It starts to mean defraud, deceive. That seems to be the origin of everything that comes after that remains in use. It's a word we use regularly today to convey drama and command attention. So it shouldn't come as a big surprise that cheat was used by writers like William Shakespeare, right? And then I can see these are the different things that he used, as well as John Milton, a false prophet taking in the most dangerous cheat, the cheat of souls. So John Milton's writings talks about a false prophet cheating souls, you know, defrauding souls, right? How does a false prophet defraud souls? By giving them false prophecies, giving them false, proclamations of the word, right? Misconstruing the word, right? John Locke, tis plain cheat, abuse when I make them, okay. And then there's also with dice, right? So the word has noun, verb, and adjective forms, expanded beyond frauds, deceptions, imposters, and people who swindle to refer to dice or possibly false dice, cheats, a type of grass that looks like the grain grows from among cheat, a certain card game, right? So there's a card game called cheat. So on and on. So now getting up into the modern days, right? The earliest citation for the last item is from 1935 from a poem of George Granville Barker, and it's appropriately poetic, which sewn upon the cheat sheet of life divert from cosmic legerdemain, our obvious knowledge that this face too must die. Okay, so that is from a poem that is used. Let me see. There's notable absence here. The thing that fascinated me is that the sexual infidelity sense doesn't come up until the 20th century, says Martin, though She notes a citation from 1563 in which the sense is uncertain. Sure's wife was my nice cheat, right? So that was in a poem. So it sounded like it could have been the 1500s. But the interesting thing, 1563 is when prescriptive monogamy was first prescribed by the Catholic Church. It's the very same year.
Yeah.
It's the very same year. So the same year that they mandated marriage ceremonies and that there be a priest that presided over it, and that a man can only have one wife in that same policy at the Council of Trent. It was in 1563. It was in 1563. The likely implication of that cheat is as a decoy rather than some lacking in fidelity, because cheat, meaning to be sexually unfaithful to one's spouse, doesn't get its earliest citation until 1934. Around the time it also starts to appear in a popular song lyrics, as seen in Joe O'Hara's Appointment in Samaria. A woman married allows that beat her and cheated on her. Those were some of the lyrics of the song.
Yes.
Right. So there you have it. Now Martin explains, referencing Oxford's corpus of contemporary English uses, the most common subject of the verb to cheat today is a husband, right? So when you look up the most common use of cheat in reference to somebody in terms sexually is always usually referred to the man.
They go blaming the man again.
It's the man, and which is crazy because it lets you know that the 1563 Council of Trent policy turned everything upside down, because cheat was always noted as the woman cheating, as Rapperholic said. Now it's the most common reference to it is in reference to a man, followed by a wife, and then a student cheating on a test exam. Even though the verb is to cheat, to mean sexually infidelity, seems not to have arisen from until the 20th century. It seems to be one of the most common usages. Right. So, I mean, that's enough there. I mean, I think we get the gist of it, right?
Yeah, I figured out what cheating was from that.
Right. So,
but let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Mike, right quick, or to the panel. Do you believe that feminism is the satanic force? I know it's kind of big, kind of spiritual, behind polygamy being knocked out of the way. Is there like a god? Is there like a god of feminism or Jezebel that's running this? Hebrew,
you want to respond to that?
Go ahead.
So if you go to Genesis 3, you can see the first feminist.
Yeah, feminism. Right.
The first feminist. It's the snake talking to Eve. That's the first feminist, the snake.
Right.
So yes,
right.
there is a spirit behind it. And you cannot have feminism within if you don't have a one man, one woman structure. Feminism dies immediately.
Right. Let's go to Genesis 3:16.
See the first feminist.
All right, so
was it the snake or the woman?
No, the woman. No,
as soon as you guys clear that up, I'll jump in on that one.
Right. All right. So here we go. All right. So hold on a second.
No, it's a bit more.
Let me go back. Okay. Then Yahweh said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you more than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you will go, and dust you will eat all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed, and she shall bruise you on the head, and you shall bruise him on the heel. We go down a little bit further. And it says, to the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. In pain you will bring forth children, yet your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. So that is part of the curse for her, is to be in that predicament of having this strong desire, and then having to be under subjection with having that strong desire. Frustration, right? And now to the man, he says, then to Adam, he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife.
Which is feminism.
Lord,
and that is feminism.
That is feminism.
And so
woman is speaking.
feminism is right. Feminism is about the
voice
projection
of
of
the
women being equal with the man or having a sense of
More-
authority over the man.
Now
Yes.
wait a
There-
minute, brother Mike.
Yes.
God made women to be
To help.
equal with men, right?
No, sir.
I don't know, brothers. What you say? What you say to that? Did
That
God,
is a no, sir.
no?
First
Why-
Corinthians 11.
I'm
No,
still
no,
I'm
even-
still ready.
no,
I will
Genesis
cover his
3:17.
first
No.
question, then I'll cover that one.
Stay at Genesis 3:17. Stay at
All
Genesis 3:17.
Uh-huh.
So if we were equal, then the Lord wouldn't say because you have listened to the voice. If we were equal, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yes.
But-
Yes, that's a good point.
But
point.
women,
If we were equal, it would not be a problem that Adam listened to his wife. But because she's not equal to him, he says, you should not have listened to her. You should have listened to me. I'm your God,
Right.
not her.
Right. Right.
but
You see
women
what-
tell
you
us
see what
all
I'm
the
saying?
time that
Yeah.
they are looking for us as partners. They don't
As
have
partners.
no head according to their
Yeah,
logic.
yeah. So I think the
But they're
word
headless.
partner is probably used more than the word cheating.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
And it's more wrong than the word cheating, actually.
Right. Right. That's my partner. Right. Right.
We are not
Right.
partners.
Right. Right.
We're not partners.
Yeah, it's an
And the,
incident.
and the,
Yeah,
and
go
the
ahead, brother.
fact that Jesus talked to the fact that Yahweh talked to Adam and gave Adam the command,
Adam the
Right.
command.
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
he
Shows
passed it
his
on to him.
authority over
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Right.
it
And their
was
eyes
him.
were open when Adam ate, not when
Right.
Eve ate. That is it.
Right, right. He could have made him another woman. He could have,
Right.
you know,
And because
did
that
something
that
else.
that is the very reason why Paul says this in first Timothy 2, I believe. He
Mm-hmm.
says a
I
woman
made you first.
must quietly receive instruction with entire submissiveness.
Mhm.
Right. But I do not allow a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man, but to remain quiet. So that's consistent with Yahweh said, what Yahweh says
Mhm.
to the woman and to the man. To the woman, he said, he shall or he must rule over you. To the man, he says, yo, why you gonna listen to the voice of the woman over mine? You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Like, why you
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
listen to
that's
the woman's
heavy.
voice over mine?
So,
Right?
Yeah.
So you telling me that a woman can't be ordained to preach?
Well,
She
not according
can't be
to
up in the
well,
pulpit?
not
Ooh, you
not
know, open up some, you know, open
not-
up a
Maybe in the
can.
shower. She could preach in the shower.
Well-
now I know Sarah Jakes can preach down the house, right? Juanita Bynum, I know she belong on that stage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Paula. What's his name? Paula White.
Oh, there's a
Yeah,
list
no,
of them.
Color. Right. Benita Bynum. Yeah. And so on and so on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But listen to this point. He says, for it was Adam. So the reason why he didn't allow or he doesn't allow women to have authority over man or teach a man, he said, because for it was Adam who was formed first. So what is he implying by him formed first? Adam has preeminence through being created before the woman, over
That's
the
it.
woman.
That's it.
That's the reason why he does not allow a woman to teach or to have authority over man. He says, and then Eve. He says, and it was not Adam who was deceived, but the woman deceived and fell into transgression.
Right. So it's another punishment. It's
It's-
another punishment. And it goes
it's an-
along with what we just read in Genesis.
What we just read in
Yes.
Genesis. What we just read in Genesis. And the scripture that I was going to go to is 1 Corinthians 11
Yes.
to show the flow chart of authority, right? From
Right.
Yahweh on down. And it says this, but I want you, Paul says, I want you to understand that Messiah is the head of every man.
Mm-hmm.
And the man is the head of the woman. And
Yeah.
Yah is the head of Messiah, but it's straightway. Yeah,
But I will have you
Yah is the
understand
head.
that
Yah is the head of
thou-
Messiah, and Messiah is the head of Dal, and Dal is the head of every man.
Why you bring
and
that?
if you go to the next verse, you get the check and give you what you deserve. in his
Exactly,
eyes.
exactly. Y'all don't know, right?
And if he decides, he gonna be the head of your woman too.
Exactly. If he decides,
If you're
You know?
lacking and she's fine, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you got problems. You go to straight way. Your woman look good, man. You
If she
got
look too
problems.
fine, yeah.
Yeah. So
And you know what, Mike, and I think a lot of people get caught up on her abilities.
mhm,
Oh, a
mhm.
woman they persuasive, they know how to speak, they know the word, but God says it's not about their abilities. It's
Now
what I told
here-
you.
here's the
It's
deal.
what it's
Here's
what I told you. The righteousness of God.
here's the deal with that.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of people who are gifted in talent. Like for instance, many of our artists, but the talent that Yahweh gave them, where they can sing like an angel, right?
Mm.
Did he give them that talent so that they can glorify Satan and do stuff like what Puffy has been doing, R. Kelly has been doing? Did he give them that talent for that reason?
Well,
Right?
wait, you're touching on a nerve there. Now, what exactly what he doing was wrong? Multiple wives or
Nah, that's a
or
whole
the
nother topic.
pedophilia?
But that's a whole nother topic. But I'm just
Yeah, I
saying
know.
is that he didn't give them he gave them the talent to bring glory to him.
Right,
We're created for his glory and his
right,
workmanship, right?
right,
So
right.
that's the purpose for why he gives us everything. He gives us the talents so that we can increase the talents for service for unto him, not
Right.
so that we can use it for idolatry,
Mhm.
right? So
And
yeah, go ahead, brother.
yeah, let me say something to that too. So I know women can talk, but I've
Mm.
never in my life met a woman that understands the Bible better than us here on this panel. The moment I start to talk to them, this is actually what's written.
Right,
Then
right.
you see, no matter knowledgeable she thinks
But
she
it
is, she
it
doesn't
It's a
ties
know
delusion.
anything.
it ties into the
Yes,
point.
it's
It
an
ties into the
illusion.
point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm taking a long route to make is, just because you can sell millions of albums and just because you can move a crowd and you can pack out a stadium and you got
Doesn't make it
millions of
preach.
fans and over, it
Yeah,
doesn't mean that what you're doing with that gift is right.
it's the will of
Yeah.
God.
So just
Yeah.
because a
Sure.
woman has the ability to articulate, and that is a strong point of a woman, more so than a
Mm.
man, right? Just because she has the ability to
Yes.
articulate, that does
Mhm.
not mean that articulation is designed for her to lead a man or to teach a man.
Thank you.
That's not what it's for.
Mhm.
If anything, it's there to support the man. It's to convey and relay the man's vision to his children, to his
Right, to build
posterity,
him up.
Yes,
Yeah,
right,
there it is.
It is
and to the
help
That's
world,
her
right?
position as
That's
a
That's
help
the
to meet.
purpose,
She is supposed to meet the need that he needs help with.
right?
Yes.
It's
But
supposed to
you
help
know what
her.
I think most men are doing nowadays? They
Mhm.
like, but God, that's the woman you gave me.
Right.
Men are falling into that trap of
Adam did the same
saying,
thing.
you gave it to me, so why can't I listen
Adam
to it?
Adam did the
Did
same
she?
thing.
Did
The
he get?
woman
The
that you've
question
given
is.
to me.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead,
You
brother.
can talk.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, brother Daniel, is did he give her to you or did you choose her?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh,
good.
you
Minimum.
saying nowadays, yeah, we choose the wife.
Exactly. So
Even
Yeah.
Adam.
do we have a barometer or certain check marks that we look for
Right,
specifically
right.
prior to choosing
Right.
her? So is
Right.
it the Lord giving us the woman or we just choosing the wrong woman?
So should I have asked my wife, does she accept polygyny from the get-go?
But you didn't
But you
accept it
didn't
from the get.
know.
You didn't know that it was scriptural.
Yeah, you didn't
Oh,
know.
so now that
You
I
know,
know,
right.
I
So
can bring it to her
and we touched on this
Exactly.
last week. We touched on this
Exactly, yeah.
last week. Like
okay.
many of us are learning this knowledge or coming to this truth after already being married and probably being married for years and so forth and whatnot. So that's the dilemma that we find ourselves in. Like,
So
okay, how do I now present that to my current world, including my wife? Right? How do
so
I
Right.
brother
present
Mike.
that? Yeah, go ahead, brother.
So
Rough it
brother
is.
Mike is saying we're not all as favored as brother Derek. Let's say it like
Exactly.
that.
Like Derek
Yes.
has an advantage point,
He
right?
has a very strong advantage.
Yeah, he has a strong advantage point
Oh,
because
thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.
I mean, he always makes the point. Well, I'm not like you guys. I don't have
Yes.
wives and I don't have
So I make
families.
it
So
before he
good.
makes it. It's out there.
I don't have the
It's
ball
out
and
there.
chain like you guys. Right?
Hey, I didn't tell you guys to walk through the road
In the
of
Western
perdition.
world.
Come on now.
I wanna bring you guys' attention to a word, a Hebrew word, on the screen. Hold on, let me. Here we go. All right, so the Hebrew word is called bina, right? See this word
Yes.
over here, bina. Yeah, come on. Bina is a feminine name. So it's a feminine word. This is in a feminine. It's of Hebrew origin to always remind baby to keep their mind open. It translates to knowledge, insight, and understanding, right? And that's really basically the point that I want to make, that bina is a feminine term, right? And it means knowledge, insight. So what are you saying, Mike? What are you bringing that up for? I'm saying that in the union between a man and a woman, the woman is the bina. She's the feminine. She's created and designed to be insightful. That's why she can outtalk you. She's created to be knowledgeable. That's the help that Yahweh wanted to give us. And that's why, the significance of her is to stand opposite us and counter to us, not to be the same as us, but to stand counter to us, to make us better.
Yeah.
And that's why he says that, it is not good for a man to be alone. I'm going to make a helper that's suitable to him. And the Hebrew, that is to be counter face to face. But she is created in the bina, in the feminine, to be insightful. And that's why I don't know if you've been married for a long time, right, brother Daniel? Have you ever had discussions with your wife where she's telling you something that you two embarked upon, that she got a funny feeling about it, that she don't like it, and you ignored it, you played it off, and then time went on, she was exactly right. Whatever her feeling was, she was exactly right because she has intuition.
When
there
I
are
was
things.
cheating. No, I'm gonna
That,
scratch that.
but yeah, even with that, but I'm just saying, like, it's almost like a puppy. Like a puppy can sense that you have cancer, can sense that you're afraid. A dog can sense that you're afraid. You know what I'm saying? And so there's this sensitivity or this sense level that a woman has that a man does not have. And that's the benefit of, what a woman brings to the union, is her introspective ability, her insight, her ability to read in between the lines. You're looking at a house and a property. You're looking at how much it costs. You're looking at how much it's going to take to pay it off. You're looking at the neighborhood. You're looking at the figures, the numbers, how much you can rent the rooms out. She's looking at what the color of the curtains are going to be. The paint is going to be on the wall. She's looking at, what it's going to look like when she have company over or when the kids are playing in the yard. Like, you both are looking at the same thing, but she's looking at it from an introspective perspective, and you're not. You're looking at it on a more abstract perspective, concrete perspective, should I say. And that's the difference. Both are necessary to make this union work. Both are needed. You understand? So, and that's what Paul meant by he says that we're interdependent upon each other.
Okay.
What about when you
That's
got
why
two
a lot
or
of
three
times-
wives? What about when you got 2 or 3 wives?
Can I
You
add
got
Say that
something?
again?
extra insight. Do you have extra
Y'all both
insight?
y'all talking at the same time. All right, say that again, Daniel.
Yeah,
What about when you have 2 or 3 wives? Are
Again,
you
that's all the more
receiving-
benefit.
more
That's
insight?
all the more. That's more insight. That's all the more.
Yeah.
You listen. You got a counsel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With you. You know what I'm saying? You have like, listen, yo, babe. Ladies? What do you think of this? And
ladies? Boy, I can't wait till that happens.
right. And so it sounds good, doesn't it? Right? It sounds good, don't it? Right?
The Council of Parker. Yeah.
Right. So the thing is like in terms of you guys moving forward, just like at a CEO, like he has all these advisors, but he ultimately is the one that makes the decision.
Last decision, right?
But there's a benefit of having this council. There's a benefit of having this advisory board. You get what I'm saying? And so You know, so that's what it is. Like, yeah, she's knowledgeable, she's insightful. There's things that she can cause you to see that you're missing and stuff and so forth. But at the end of the day, you lead. You lead.
Yeah, and going on that, when like you were saying it was true, I was going to say that, and most of the time they're right. So listen to your wives and get counsel. Sometimes you can ask them a question, and sometimes don't get and like you said, you have to make the final decision up to the man. Like my wife always tell me, we were married almost 39 years in June. So she always said, what the Lord say, do it, do it. So it's all going to fall on you, the man. You make the decision. So you have to make that final decision, but you're going to get counsel from your wife and say, what do you think about this? Did you think this right? And then you can go pray about it also.
Right. Yeah. When did the two of their eyes open? When she ate or he ate?
When he ate.
And who did he call? Did he call her or did he call him?
Called him. Adam.
She called him.
He called him.
Right. And so again, he was the one that was in response. He was the one that was responding. He could have checked that thing. You know, he could have diffused it from the gate, but he didn't. He listened to the voice of his woman. That was his downfall.
She navigating, he's steering the ship.
Yeah. Sometimes my wife will read people like a book. Yeah. Manolo said sometimes his wife will read people like a book. Yeah. And he said he said to the previous thing that you said, Daniel. He says me too. Can't wait. when he has his whole counsel there.
You're getting ready to get me in trouble live. Yo, but to the brother who was 39 years, he said 39 years.
Yes, in June, 39 years.
39 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bro.
Praise God. Praise God.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Blessings. Continue blessing. Now, have you brought to your acceptance of polygyny?
No.
Okay.
So you're sneaking? Studying. Are you sneaking?
No, I'm still studying. No.
All right.
I hear you. I'm just talking to her about where it's in the Bible where we read it all these years and I never paid it no attention about Abraham, David, you know, all the Solomon and all of them. I never paid it no attention. I just, you know how you read something, just overlook it, and you never thought about it.
Yeah.
Now we're in a men's cave now. Have you desired other women other than?
Yo, man, don't get the man in trouble, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just because
he tried to interrogate me.
Yo, just
don't answer, brother Tony. Don't answer.
Just because your woman about to strangle you, man. Don't try to get.
You want company?
Yeah.
So
I need somebody in the same camp.
The same camp. The thing I was going to say, based on the explanation, the definition. So if the man is the concrete and then the woman is more abstract, in the sense of she's thinking about the colors, but you can't build with paint. You need to have a building standing, and then you can talk about how we're gonna paint it. Maybe flowers. So the man must then leave. By this definition, it's possible to let the woman. It will cause destruction.
Can I add something to what you mentioned, Brother Mike?
What did you say?
Can I add something to what you mentioned about the Bina, the understanding?
Yeah, the Bina.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
The Bina, what comes to my mind, it comes to when you said working together, parallel together. What comes to me is the same thing as you look as a battery, something that we utilize all the time. You see the man as the positive and the woman as the negative. When it works together, you have the battery, you have it charged, and you can charge anything.
And you need both. And you need both.
You can't have two positives the same way you charge a car when it's dead. You need both.
But then how do you deal with
positive and post the negative?
But how do you deal with more negatives then? If it's one positive, multiple negatives.
Oh, in terms of adding on women is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. And see,
that's the reason you gotta have a list in place of what you're looking for in the check mark. Once you learn things, you add that to how you find and choose a woman. You make that be clear. If you don't have a blueprint, it's just like an architect. If you don't have a blueprint, you have nothing to build. You're just looking at land. You don't know what materials
I would say Yeah, yeah. Manilo says, I've desired women for a long time, but I thought it was something wrong with me because of how I was taught. I have been tempted strongly. Yeah, yeah. I
I
think that would
mean,
be
Okay,
a
that's your
as
prime directive.
But do you think
For
that's
men.
why men cheat? Because a lot of time it's
yeah.
in
I
them
mean
to
that
have
and
more than
that and
one.
that and that and that definitely leads to answer this question here.
Mhm.
Does prescriptive monogamy lead men to cheat? And if so, why?
Yes, because men was
It
never
does.
meant to be with one woman.
Because men are hunters.
Men are hunters. Okay.
We were never.
I'm
Men
curious
were,
as
what
to
do you
what Manilow is
wait,
gonna
wait.
say. Yeah,
What do
go
you
ahead.
mean by cheating? Do you mean the
Well, the definition,
sneaking,
yeah, the definition, the Western definition, right?
the
Does
sneaking?
it lead to a man sneaking out without his wife knowing?
I don't know. So this is what I say. I know two kind of guys. I know the type of men that just let their woman know I'm not a woman. I'm
Mhm,
just gonna do my thing. Within this prescriptive monogamy culture, they still just let women know this is how I roll. If you have a
mhm,
problem with it, then you get on. He might not even have read the Bible ever.
mhm.
So I don't think prescriptive monogamy is causing men to cheat. What I think is it's bringing out that they're afraid of their women. It's
Well, I mean,
because
then that would lead to another question. Then, does prescriptive monogamy cause men to be afraid?
that no, I don't think so. I think
Doesn't?
he is afraid. So a
Okay, so
situation can change.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. Let me ask you
you'll
a
be
question.
sleeping in the
Let me
basement.
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Um, have you ever heard of the term "she will take half"?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've
what
heard.
does that mean in our society today?
Well, but so I can answer this question from another perspective. I know of men that said, then let her take half, let her get her ass on. So
Right,
the situation doesn't weaken him. That's
right.
what I'm saying. So this situation just brings out that it is
Okay,
a
but what that might be men that are exceptional. What about the men who are afraid? Is it
then he
being
was afraid.
is it no, I'm not. I'm talking about men who that are afraid. Are there okay, is it safe to say that there are men who are afraid of getting
Of their
divorced
wife.
and losing half of their income, right?
Yeah.
Having
Yes.
to move out their
Yes, there
house,
are.
being
Yeah.
separated
Yeah.
from their kids,
Yes.
Yeah.
having their family upset with them, the wife's family upset with them, right?
Yes.
Their friends
Right.
can't hang out with them no more because they labeled as they got a big C
Yes.
on their forehead, right? So they can know if they off limits, can't touch them, right? They ostracized, right? They've been straightwayized, right? So,
Yes.
right? So is it safe to say that that leads certain men to be afraid?
No.
And some
That's what
no.
I'm saying. They would have been afraid without this situation. They were
Okay, let
already
me ask let
afraid.
me ask, let me
Afraid.
ask the other
Yeah.
brother Jeremy, do you think that men are afraid of the backlash of saying I want to have another wife?
Oh hell yes,
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
because because society really has conditioned us to think that one woman is all a man should desire, regardless of
Mhm.
what our natural director says.
Do you think a man who has a high profile job, say like he might be a news anchor or something like that, would be afraid of losing his job?
Yep,
A CEO, would he be afraid of losing his job?
100%.
A judge?
Oh
you
yeah,
know, yeah.
and he know the
So
system.
It's
the,
cultural.
the, the
It's
thing
culture.
is that okay, so here's the thing. Is it safe to say that prescriptive monogamy has a certain type of hold on men?
It
Definitely.
does. It does.
Definitely.
It does because of this. It does because of the system, but also because men are not necessarily men. We've been
Okay, so
conditioned
now
to
so
bias those.
okay, so we're talking about financial issues. All right, so what about the religious connotations and the religious stigmas that if you do this, you're going to go to hell. If you do this, you're going to be a sinner. If you do this, you're going to be cursed and you're not going to be blessed. Can that sort of induce sort of a fear in people psychologically or men
Yeah.
psychologically?
Yeah, yeah, but I also believe it goes back to when God said it is not good that man should be alone. It's that fear of being alone, that fear of being excommunicated from the church,
Right.
Being excommunicated from friends and things like that.
Ostracized. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Labeled as a creep, yeah. So a dog, right?
Yep.
Yo, quick question, Mike.
Yeah.
Is the antecedent of
That's a pretty word, brother.
like that?
It's a pretty word,
I
man.
went to the
Impressive.
5th grade. I went to the
He has a dictionary open.
Of prescriptive monogamy, is it biblical polygyny?
Biblical polygyny? What do you mean?
Biblical polygyny, because what we basing how we believe now, those that have come up to it, is that God through the scriptures, Yahweh through the scriptures, had said it's all right to have multiple wives, for a man to have multiple wives. That's biblical polygyny. Is that the antecedent of prescriptive
monogamy? Of course, because that's what prescriptive monogamy. Okay, I mean, what do you guys think? If prescriptive monogamy is a policy, political policy, that started in the church and the state, that says that a man can only have one wife, right? And if a man says I'm going to have more than one wife, then is polygamy or polygyny the antecedent? Is it the opposite of prescriptive monogamy?
No.
Yep.
So if the policy says you can only have one woman, but the scripture says you can have more than one woman, is that an opposite, or is that the same thing?
They perceive it as
that's antecedent.
not actually.
Say that again.
So people perceive it as opposite, but it in fact not opposite. The Bible isn't opposite of one man, one woman.
I'd rather obey God rather than man. I'd rather obey God rather than man.
Well, we said earlier what we said that there's a difference between monogamy and prescriptive monogamy.
Yeah.
Right.
So his question is not monogamy. Polygamy is polygyny is the antecedent of monogamy. He's asking, is polygyny the antecedent of prescriptive monogamy? There's a difference between the two. Because the Bible is not anti-monogamy, right?
See, that's my point.
And the Bible is not anti-polygyny, right? Right. So prescriptive monogamy says you cannot have more than one wife, but Scripture says you can have more than one wife.
Right.
So the question is it the opposite than prescriptive monogamy? Not monogamy.
Difficult question. The thing is, if the person prescribing in the one man, one woman, it's not God prescribing, and the polygyny is biblical, then it's from God.
I mean, that's
which
what
makes it the opposite.
Right. And that's the whole point of his question, is it the opposite? Right. And so what do you guys say? Do you guys think that, the other guys on the panel, Derek, do you think that biblical polygyny is the opposite of prescriptive monogamy?
I think it's the opposite, because of the sense that some people take polygyny and they make it into a polyamorous, and they kind of corrupt it of how it's set into the biblical sense of things, where you have one woman and she has multiple men, or vice versa. That I feel that it's mostly a type of alphabet going on, because the woman is also interested in women.
Right.
And also the men, vice versa. So it makes it a whole out of order and a mess in general.
So biblical polygyny would be the direct opposite of prescriptive monogamy,
because it's a based in order, and the Lord works in order.
Right.
Once you're in order, there's no confusion.
Right.
And polyamorous and all of that adds confusion.
Yes.
So the whole set of everything.
Right. Okay.
Could I just address like something Brother Daniel asked earlier?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I know it's a little bit way back from where he says feminism. I was looking at Britannica, and it mentioned that it was brought up by a philosopher, Christine de Pizan, and that was in France, and she was actually wanted to have females be more in education because at the moment they were not being in schools and things like that. She was the first one in record regarding that, and I think that the feminism is just a tree. And everything else attaches to it, entities, stuff like that, from Easter to all these other things that attach to that tree. So it's pretty much it's like having a brainstorm, and you just have all these different tentacles to it.
Right. And what would be the root of that tree?
There you go. The adversary, of course.
Right. And like going all the way back to the garden, like the adversary.
Correct. Yes, that's why it comes right to the tree. Yes.
Right. Going back to the tree.
But I do believe it's different aspects. You have the Jezebel spirits. You have people who wear too much makeup. All of those things are right into that tree of contamination.
Right.
It's a contaminated tree, pretty much.
Right.
So I just wanted to cover that you mentioned before. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to respond to on that feminism there.
It's it's a big fight because it's the majority of the world. The Bible says we fighting against the world.
Yeah, it's a beast. It's a beast.
But I would say I would say this though, Brother Daniel. Though the word also tells us that we got to be out of the world. And that's the key word right there. And I think what happened is many of us, we get too comfortable within certain aspects of the world.
Yeah.
And we want to tab on both things,
Right.
We want to be able to put on, the armor of God, but at the same time, we want to go out and dance and do salacious things. We can't do both. You can't serve two masters. You serve none.
Right. All right. So let me ask you this question. Is cheating even a biblical term or infraction? Let's settle that. It's not. Okay, so it's not a biblical term. But I hear a lot of brothers say that cheating is wrong.
And you know what, Mike?
Parse that out for me. Like, okay, if it's not a biblical infraction or violation, then how can believers say that it's wrong? So which one is it? Well, help me out. Explain that, guys. Explain that, Jeremy. Anybody help me?
Maybe they'll use the word fornication or adultery instead of using the word cheat. If they wind up having sex or something like that. If not, they just stepping out.
You mean cheating in a game, playing games?
Right. No. Okay. I mean, consistent with the definition of what the title is. That is definitely in reference to the idea from the Western perspective. A man stepping out on his marriage and his relationship with his woman is considered cheating, right? So the question is it even a biblical concept that a man needs to have the permission or allow his woman to know that he's going to have another woman? Is a man mandated to tell his woman that he wants another woman or he's going to have another woman?
No, but it would make it a much easier time. But it's not mentioned anywhere in the Bible. But we went through an article earlier that laid out how much that word has changed in the past 500 years.
Right, which is what we was reading earlier. So so then does that make it wrong? It may cause havoc in his house, but it may not be wise. But does that make it wrong?
No, it doesn't make it wrong. There are still places there are still places in the world that do it right. They never adopted this French. It's not term of cheating.
I want to pose a scenario. I'm sorry, Brother James, for cut you off. Say your question again, or say your statement again.
Oh, hey, I'm just a guest. It's your show, man.
No. You was in the middle of your thought, and I interrupt you not. But the thing is that I have to honor you. So
this straight way.
Yes. So this
learning
straight way, right? You were in the middle of saying, and I had cut you off. Say that again. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, brother. I was done.
Oh, you was done? Okay.
Yes,
I will then. Go ahead.
So one thing I gotta say, if you were to talk to your woman about it, be careful because if you tell her and she says no, now you have to do it because you're no longer the man in the house. If she says no, you don't do it, and you don't do it. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you were
Right.
iffy on it and she says no, you have to do it now. Just to
Right.
Why
prove
do
to her
she
that
have? Why
she's
do we have to do it if she tell him no?
she's then the man of the house. She's then the head of the house.
So it's
She
like
said no, and you're not doing
And if
it.
it's a
so
desire,
then
George.
so then
Yeah.
you acting like Adam in that regard. You
Right.
listening to the
In a
voice of your
sense,
woman.
yes,
The
yes.
woman
So
you
maybe
gave me.
you're iffy on it, and because she says no, you're boxed in. You're locked into having to do
Maybe
it,
he want
even
to
if it's
keep peace
failed.
at the time. Maybe he want to keep peace in his house.
This is the peace. You have to do it to get peace.
But will
As
you
long as
sneak?
she
The
thinks,
thing is will you sneak and
as
feel
long
that
as
it's
she
wrong?
thinks she's leading the house, you're never gonna have peace.
Mm.
So either way, you're screwed.
Do you guys agree with that?
No,
what do you,
no, I don't.
no? As long as she thinks she's running, she's ruling, you're not gonna have peace.
You're not gonna have peace.
It sounds like a contentious woman, and we know what the word tells us about a contentious woman. What is
Hit
it
the
that
mountains, hit the rooftop.
there you go. There you go. Get the heck out
Oh
of
boy,
Dodge.
Get
not
on
the
up out of
rooftop
there.
again. Not the rooftop.
So,
Depending
but
on
see,
her
if-
weight, you might not be able
but-
to hold her.
Yeah, but what if you live in a 10-story building? Then what do you do?
yes, and you're the fifth story.
Take
you're
the
the
elevator
football.
on.
I guess you got to use the balcony. I guess.
Exactly.
On the balcony.
Yeah, Mike, let me say something. I think most of us, because we here in America in the Western culture, we're dealing with the mentality of monogamy, prescriptive monogamy. That's in the back of our subconscious. As much as we accept the biblical truth of it just not being God's will.
Right.
So we're fighting against that constantly, and we have to be careful in how we react to it, because still in our nature, I think, we still think that it's wrong because we're supposed to be with one woman.
Right.
But when you come to that knowledge and you want to stand boldly, like Peter said, I'd rather obey God rather than man, and it's in your heart. See, it's a heart issue at that point. If it's in your heart, then you have the ability to find another wife or whatever. But if if you can't do it with a clear conscience, then you need to stay as you are, but not go up under a guilt mentality and saying, I'm sticking to this one woman. And then at that point, I think it would be cheating, because within your own conscience, you still have the prospective monogamy mentality.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. So what about that? What do you about that, guys? Do you think that we can even it would be safe to say that prescriptive monogamy is cheating in and of itself, being that it's not biblical and it's fraud?
You're cheating yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
being in a monogamous relationship, like I said last week, polygyny is not for everybody, for everyone. And some people in the Bible, some of them was monogamous, but the problem was when the Greek and Roman came into it, they changed everything and they changed the laws. So
mandatory.
And just because they don't want it, that man or woman, the man might not want to be in a polygamous relationship. He might want to stay monogamous.
Right.
But
Yes.
but one thing I have to add, even the people that had one man, one woman knew that a man could have more than one. Everyone in the Bible understood this.
You said no man, no. Everybody in the Bible understood what? Say that again.
Understood
Knew
that
that
a
they
man
would
could
have
have
it.
more
Right.
women. So it's
Yeah, it
still
was-
not the same as what we have.
Excuse me, brother.
Okay.
Because the dynamics change immediately when you realize you can have more women. Even if you stick with one, your whole the world changes.
Right. Indeed.
And some might not want to be bothered with more than one.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That's what I've
Possibility,
always
but
mentioned.
you know
yes.
you can. But
Right.
you know you
Right,
can.
right.
It changes the whole dynamic.
Right.
I think it takes a particular kind of management to be able to deal with or have more than one wife, especially during these times. But regarding the question about that that you brought up, Brother Mike, I would say that being truthful is part of the Lord. So you got to be truthful with yourself. And I think that you going behind anybody doing anything, that's not being truthful. That's being deceitful. And, you know, that's all I view it as, being deceitful. Even if it causes a torn or issue in your home, I think you should be truthful. Always try to be truthful as possible. You pray about it, and you fast about it, and then you be truthful about it. And it might break up that relationship or the home, but you're being truthful and you're being in favor of the Lord.
Right.
So, but Brother Derek.
Yes.
The same question. So you tell your wife, and she says, "No, I don't want to do it." What would you then do?
Decisions would have to be made at that point. She would have to be put away. She would have to be put away at that point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but my point, what I'm mentioning is that you got to be truthful about it. Is to not sneak around about it, you know.
But you already told her, so you're not sneaking. You already told her, so there's no more sneaking.
Notice he said put away, not divorce, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Brother Jeremy.
That's another topic there. That's a whole nother topic.
That's a difference.
Okay,
that's
divorce.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I really go from the Proverbs 12:19 thing. Truthful lips endure forever, but lying tongue is but for a moment. I really go on that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, but you would go ahead even if she said no.
I would have to try to follow the word. You got to follow the word, regardless if you're on an island on your own. And I think that's part of having that masculinity and holding your position. This is the line what I have, and that's what it's gonna be. You know.
So D,
I actually wouldn't divorce her.
Yeah, but the thing is that Brother Derek,
yes,
are
sir.
you saying that the word mandates you to tell her?
No, I'm not saying the word that mandates it. I'm saying I'm just not gonna lie and go behind her back, because it's making me not being truthful to the Lord. It's being truthful, being what
if she's threatening? What if she's a woman that threatens you and say, if you do this,
in what way?
Take the kids.
Yeah,
give me an example.
Yeah, take the kids. I'll tell your daddy.
You know,
unfortunately, that's the hit I would have to take, right?
Right. Okay.
And you know, this is what we need to understand. The Lord is not going to take people who are soft and halfway on things. You got to be able to hold with them or not.
Right.
He doesn't. He doesn't negotiate. There's no easy task to it. He never said it was going to be an easy road.
Right.
There it is. So that's what I was saying with regards to the question from both. Does the monogamy make the men weak? I say no. They were already weak. The monogamy, different monogamy, is bringing out their weakness. Because if you put a strong man, it doesn't matter what situation, he will remain a strong man.
Right.
No matter what culture you put him in, he will remain. He will die or get what he wants.
Okay,
not unless he gives away the secret. Now,
No.
Samson was a strong man until he gave himself.
He was a weak man.
Right. He was strong until he gave himself in.
So then the question to that, Brother Rapperholic, is: does false doctrine weaken people or strengthen people?
Does false doctrine weaken or strengthen?
Yeah. Does it weaken? Does it weaken? Does it weaken? Does it weaken the flock, or does it strengthen the flock?
Okay, so
weaken.
It's either
definitely weaken
or a group question. But what is strong? We have to define strong, because I don't think Samson was strong.
Spirit. I mean, well, what we're talking about here, we're talking about weak versus strong in reference to being courageous enough to confront one's wife, as opposed to So we're talking about strong in that sense, in terms of That's what we're talking about. So does false doctrine lead people to be fearful?
Yeah. So,
or does it lead, or it has no effect on people being fearful?
Don't mind my laughing. So the way you phrase it, fearful of your wife.
The way I said it. Yeah, I mean,
concept. It's
What-
a strange concept to me.
But it's a reality though. And
Yeah.
and I mean it's real.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. If you do you know guys who you know for a fact that are married and would not mind having another woman or
That's
see
every
something
single
right,
man.
but they will never face their wife with that. They will never say that to their wife.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
then
I'm
would
actually
it
surrounded.
right? So would it be safe to say that they're afraid?
Yes,
Mhm.
definitely.
Right. So they're
Definitely.
fair. So
Yeah.
granted, do you think that there are men like that inside the church,
The church is
even in
only
Israel?
having men.
Right. But so do you think that those men have a legitimate fear based on what
Yes.
the information that they've been fed and taught for years?
Yes, but this is my point. The fear was already there. The prescriptive monogamy is simply bringing it out.
Well, I mean,
I'm saying.
right. But the thing is that does the truth nourish people and make them stronger, or does it matter whether they get truth or not? They're just gonna be strong if they're a strong person.
There is something to be said about a man.
Right, because here's the deal. You're
The
also
tribe.
dealing with spiritual warfare.
Right.
So
Exactly.
you're also talking about somebody being afraid of something that is intimidating them. If you do
Mhm.
this, all of this is going to happen to you. If you stand on this, all this is going to happen to you. And so, even Yeshua, why did his disciples abandon him?
Yeah.
Why did Peter deny him 3 times?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were afraid.
Right.
And the
Why
situation brought it out.
why did Adam hide himself? You know
Mhm.
why?
Afraid.
Because he succumbed to the false doctrine of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
So false doctrine weakens.
Yeah, it weakens a person. It makes you afraid.
Definitely.
He said Yahweh says Yahweh said, why did you hide yourself? He said, because I was afraid. Why were you afraid? Did you eat of the tree that I told you not to eat of? So the fear came from following the doctrine that was the antithesis of, see, now you got me using that word, Brother Daniel, that was the antecedent of the commandment that Yahweh gave initially. So fear is incited by the spirit of Yah or the spirit of Satan.
Satan.
Depends
Yeah.
on which fear you mean.
Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at some word.
Satanic
Let's look at some word. All right,
fear.
Second Timothy, 1:7. And it says, for Yah has not given us a spirit of timidity or fear
Right.
or cowardice, but
Right.
of power and love
Okay.
and discipline.
Yeah.
So if a person is
no.
afraid and they're operating in fear, it doesn't come from him,
Right.
right? Here's the other thing. Paul says this in 1 Timothy 4.
Perfect love.
He says this. He says, but the Spirit explicitly says that in latter times some will fall away from the faith,
Mhm.
paying attention to deceitful spirits and doctrines of demons. Okay, was it
Mhm.
not doctrines of demons in the garden? Was
Yeah.
it not a
Mhm.
deceitful spirit? So it obviously wasn't a spirit that came from Yah, right? So it by means of hypocrisy of liars see it in their own conscience as with a branding iron, men who forbid marriage. So prescriptive monogamy is the forbidding of marriage.
Forbidding of marriage.
Amen.
But
Right?
then I
So
have,
where
then
does
I
it
have
where
a
does oh wait, no,
question.
let me just make the
Amen.
point. Where does it
Yeah.
come from? Right? So if it comes from demons, right?
Mm.
Demons also bring fear.
Okay.
That's deep.
So
Yeah.
the connection of fear, right, is coming from the false doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why
Can I
the
ask the
truth is
question?
important. But yeah, go ahead, brother.
Can I ask the question?
Mhm.
Can a man that has the spirit of the Lord thy God be afraid of his?
Can the man that what?
That has the spirit of Yah, would such a man be afraid of his?
Be afraid of what?
His wife.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Well, we all subject
Yes.
in the flesh. Yeah.
It is possible because we
Right.
also live in flesh,
Right.
or we have sinful
Struggle.
flesh, or we have flesh that we contend with. So
For
that
sure,
is
bro.
that is
Are you
that is
sure?
that is possible. So it's you
Sure.
can't I mean you are we not afraid at times? Yeah, of course. So
Mhm.
that's just the reality. Listen, Elijah the prophet ran because he was afraid.
Yeah.
I said of
Getting
his
ready to
wife.
commit
I
suicide.
didn't say
He's
of
getting
that
ready.
of his wife is what I said.
Well, again, whether if it's for say that again because of his life,
Of his wife, with a man that has the spirit of Yah, which he hasn't given us
bro.
the spirit of fear, but the
Listen,
spirit of
listen, listen,
That
listen,
Jezebel spirit
listen,
is heavy.
listen. You got men today that are literally living on the street
Mm-hmm.
because their wife divorced them and took
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have men that literally have gotten beaten up because their wives had told her family and brothers lies. You
But
understand? So
scripture,
I
you're
was
talking
yeah.
about a force.
Yeah.
You have women that are literally, a lot of men have gotten jailed based on the
some of them
lies,
got killed.
gotten killed. I mean, here in you know, we know during European colonialism and the slave trade, how many of our ancestors got killed
Mm,
because a white woman said she got raped?
mm, mm.
So
And
in that sense, you know, there is a backlash. You
Amen.
understand? And so if you stand for the truth, any truth of Yah's word, there is a possibility that there could be
You'll die.
persecution for standing
Yeah,
up for
you'll
that
die
word.
for it. Yeah.
Mike, and that fits right in what I was going to say. I was looking at this video today, and I did research on it, make sure it was true. It was this
Mhm.
pastor or bishop, they call him, and he was 51 years old. His name is, you can look it up for yourself. His name is Orlando Coleman. He wound
Okay.
up marrying 10 women, different women. They say he probably divorced a couple of them. He claimed he didn't know he was married still. This case came out 5 days ago. He claimed he didn't know he was still married to the other woman. But they said he used the women to take money from them and all of that, and to live with them and all of that. So he had probation at first. They gave him 3 years probation. But after that, I think he said 10 days later or whatever, after he went to court, he wound up marrying another woman. So they just gave him a 3-year sentence for bigamy in prison
Mhm.
because what he's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the mistake that he made is he applied for different marriage certificates. So once you apply for more than one marriage certificate, you're guilty of bigamy. Bigamy don't stick when you don't apply for marriage. You don't get the state involved.
And that's why a lot of people wouldn't do polygyny, because they're afraid when
Because
they're afraid of the state and what can happen to them.
and here's the connection to the fear. The
Mm-hmm.
pastors are telling them that you have to get a marriage license.
But some
Right.
pastors don't know the truth.
And but it's all based on false doctrine.
Right.
It's based on the Council of Trent. Pastors are telling people in the church that you must get a state marriage license in order for it to be legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
The state marriage license is saying that you can only have one wife. If you apply for a second one and you already have a current one, then you've committed bigamy.
I was watching this pastor from Africa. He was up there like about maybe late 60s, early 70s, and he married to 2 wives. He didn't tell the church. So he eventually told the church. So they asked him in an interview, what happened when you told the church that you had 2 wives? He said some of the pastors in the church left him alone in Africa. They don't want to be bothered with him. And other churches is accepting him now. He said he couldn't hold it from them any longer. He had to tell them.
Right. I mean, listen, I would say that there's a legitimate fear when anything risks you being put out, shunned, ostracized from your whole world, your family, your children, your money, your livelihood. That's a lot. I mean, think about the rich young ruler. He was afraid to part ways with his money. When Yeshua says, sell all you have, give it to the poor, and then come follow me. He was afraid. He put his head down. He walked. You know why? Because he valued his treasure more than he valued following Yeshua. But his
look at
disciples. Yeah, got.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, but look at what Jesus said. The extent of being a follower of his teachings, of being a disciple. He said, "If you hate not your mother, your father, your
Right.
sister, your brother,
Right.
yea, and even your own life. You got to
Right.
come against something that's
Right.
within you that's saying,
Right.
I may be doing wrong.
Right.
But when you reveal the truth, you got to take a stand one way or the other. And it's a crucifixion. He
Right.
said, if any man come after me, he got to deny himself.
Right. And
that's where it's deeper than just words.
Could that be the reason why the devil uses the people that are closest to you?
Yeah.
To incite the fear the most? He even tried to use it with Yeshua to get his mother and his brothers to stop him from teaching.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like he went to Adam's wife. Right? He's always going to try to use the people closest to you.
Yeah, point.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's an attachment, there's an emotional attachment. You know, you love those people. You got relationship, you got time with them. To have that snatched from underneath you, it's painful. It's pain involved. If you lose your loved one today, you're going to hurt. You're going to be crying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, you lose a family member, you're going to cry. It's going to hurt you. You know, and so people are afraid of that happening if they can avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when it comes to this prescriptive monogamy thing, it's the way how he controls us, man. You know, he controls people in our society, in our culture, in our day with, if you do this, you're going to lose all of this. Do you really want to do that?
Exactly.
You know, and that's why you got most men just going to fake a funk. They're going to cheat. You know, that, you know, or, you know, they're not going to tell their woman, whatever, they, you know, or they just won't do it. They just gonna just let it bottle up and just get frustrated. And that's why I think a lot of men end up in the early grave.
Exactly.
Because they're not living in the truth.
Exactly.
What would you say to a man that says, I steal because I'm hungry? I'm afraid of dying, that's why I steal. Would you say that would legitimize?
I think it's, but I don't think it's legitimate, but I think that it's equivalent to the same type of fear that we're talking about. You know, when you're talking about living, you understand, people will compromise what they know is right. You understand, to self-preservation. It's a reality.
I have to tell the truth. I cannot relate because I have stood before all the things you're saying, and I said, let's do it. You want to? I don't know if the woman wants to.
But you're, and I'm saying that you. But I'm saying that you are an exception.
That's me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you are an exception, and I'm just saying that there's a lot of men that are afraid, even on the plantations. There were those who
I was never afraid.
Say that again.
I'm not saying I don't get afraid.
Come to America, bro.
I'm saying it doesn't stop me.
You come to America.
My whole life it hasn't stopped me. America, you think here's a paradise?
Right.
You think I live in paradise?
Right, but I'm saying the reality is that you have a level of strength that a lot of men don't have. You are an exception. A lot of men are just simply afraid. And I would say that prescriptive monogamy is a big contributor to why men choose the deceptive route, why men choose the lie, why men choose to steal, why men choose not to stand up for the truth, because they're afraid. Look, a lot of men choose not to follow the Father, Yahweh. No. Why? Because they are afraid of being identified with the truth. And you know, and so and Brother Bazaway said this. He said it's spiritual, which it is. It's a spiritual condition.
Amen.
It doesn't matter how physically strong you are. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. It doesn't how much money you got. This is a spiritual condition, and that is the reason why the enemy uses deceptive doctrines, because it influences you spiritually. And once you're influenced by it, it's not gonna embolden you. It's gonna make you into a coward, and that's the reason why cowards are going to end up in hell.
Yeah.
Could I add something else there, Brother Mike, with that?
You're gonna end up in hell.
Add something there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, regarding brother Hebrew and brother Daniel, it's not that. I think what brother Daniel was trying to say, in America is a little bit is the same thing. We no place is a paradise, but I will put it as an example of history. It's just like when in Rome, the closer you are to Rome, the more that stress level is in a different way.
Right.
And that in your area, it's not that he's saying in your paradise. It's just that the sun is hitting you, the stress level may be on a different frequency. It's like you're closer to the machine that is spreading out this to the world. It's a little bit much more precise. It's like being more closer to the sun. That's all I think he was trying to get across. But he doesn't say that you're in a paradise. I think that's what he was trying to convey.
And the laws are different.
So if you live here for a couple of years and where you are, then you can make an accurate estimation.
Right.
No, I was just giving an example. I wasn't saying that. I was just giving you an idea where it's coming. Because even during Egypt time, there's always a main central place that situation is being used, where it's being spread to the rest of the world.
Right. It's more intense in the.
But he's not. He's definitely not lowering down your area, your experience at all.
Oh no! Don't take it like that. I just know that here in America, that when the courts get involved, a man 9 times out of 10 is going to lose his children. And these are things that he worked for. We have a gentleman here married 39 years. So there's been a big investment.
It's a stronghold. It's
going back in one family. So for him to bring this truth, he has to decide whether he's going to submit, because like we said earlier, a monogamous relationship isn't wrong. Neither is polygyny. Polygyny is wrong.
Right.
So if you choose monogamy, then be faithful to it, but know within your own conscience and in your own heart that this is the way I wanna live. Don't be hypocritical about it, because then you getting into, I think if you'll be getting into a deeper thing of lasciviousness, fornicate, it'll go.
This is what
it'll be a fight.
But before you read, this is what I mean. This is not personal, but I've seen heard, even I think it's an uncle of mine was in exactly such a situation, and he simply said, "Then take the children, but you're not gonna be my boss." So he was placed in the most you can imagine, the most tight position you can even think of, and he said, "Simply just take it." Take whatever you want.
Yeah, but most men that have been conditioned in this system will not do that. That's the reason why most men don't buck against it. They don't. That's why they would rather cheat. That's the reason why they would rather lie.
Yeah, they
because
don't want to lose.
Listen.
Sneak. Yeah.
We're born into
the man
this.
himself. It's not it's not the prescriptive monogamy. The
but
man
what I'm
himself
saying
is choosing this.
What I'm saying is that
accepting it.
What I'm saying is that it is also a conditioning that men are born into this. You understand? It's not something that, you were taught to be a patriarchal man all your life, and then now all of a sudden somebody just gave you a doctrine on prescriptive monogamy and you just started embracing it. No, we're talking about being born and raised in
culture. The culture.
And it is culture that goes all the way back 500 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's strong, and it has so much stronghold ties connected to it from a legal perspective, a social perspective. You understand how people look at you and will judge you, have negative connotations attached to it, and you will sacrifice losing or not. And that is the reason why these men are living in this fear. But this is what Yeshua says to John. He says, He who overcomes inherit these things, and I will be his Yah, and he will be my son. But for the cowardly, unbelieving, abominable, the murderers, the immoral persons, the sorcerers, the idolaters, all the liars, their part will be in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Okay,
and that
so
cowardly But again, it's influenced by false doctrine.
But
All
it's
of this is
making my
influenced by
point.
false doctrine, and there are going to be people that are going to go to hell for being cowards,
That's my
particularly
point.
men. Right,
But
right,
this is my point. How does he know that these are cowards? These men have been placed before the fire and they are afraid.
and they are afraid. Right, but the
So
fire
yeah.
is not necessarily a literal fire, as we know, but the fire is the idea that if I stand up in this truth that I'm learning about biblical patriarchy and polygyny, that the fire is going to be what's going to be the backlash in my world. What are going to be the consequences that I'm going to face for this? And so a lot of men elect not to go through that fire. You get what I'm saying? That's the point that I'm making. So there is a level of fear that men have
So
because
Mike,
they don't want to deal with the
uh-huh.
consequences.
So Mike,
Yeah,
I'm not denying that these men exist. I
right.
know they exist. What I'm saying is the origin of their fear is not the prescriptive monogamy. The
What's
prescriptive monogamy is bringing it out, showing that they are afraid.
right? So what would you say the origin is?
The origin, they are afraid.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's quite
They are
natural.
weak men
It's
by
the
themselves.
yeah,
They
but
themselves.
Mm.
if that's the case, then you're saying that we're born sinners,
But we are born sinners. We're
right?
born in sin.
Right, we're born
Yes.
sinners.
Yes.
So
I
that
would
means
agree
that
with
Augustine in the Catholic Church was correct.
Makes
That
in what
people are
sense?
just born that way.
Yeah,
In what
babies.
sense? In what sense?
Well, I mean, in the sense that what this text says, it says
I
that there's going to be coward people, and you're saying they're just like that.
They're
It's them,
born
it
right?
fearful.
And
depends
so,
on what uh-huh.
no, what I'm saying is that it is a
A
sinful
choice.
nature, a choice that they have made because they're being held accountable when they don't
Right.
have to.
Right. Right.
They're
You
being
could
held
be a murderer.
accountable. It's
You
not
could
what they
die
are,
for it.
it's what they
Right.
choose to embrace. In other words,
Right.
Adam choosing to listen to the voice of his woman, or Saul, King Saul, choosing to be afraid and listen to the voice of the people, right, over Yah, was a choice. And he was held accountable for it. Adam was held accountable for it.
Okay.
So
Exactly.
it's still, at the end of the day, it's not them, it's what they choose to embrace.
Let me answer the
Exactly.
question. Let me answer
Because
the question.
your fear is not you.
Exactly.
You understand? There's
Let
a
me answer the
distinction.
question.
Mhm.
Let me answer the question. I think the difference would be what you said. They're afraid of the backlash.
Right,
And I didn't say I'm a fearless man.
right,
I'm human. What I say is my if I am afraid of anything, I would be afraid of letting Yeshua down.
right.
That that is higher than the fear of
But
anything someone could do.
here's the key component to that, brother. The reason why you're afraid is because of your insight and your focus on what his word says.
Mhm.
Those cowards were more afraid of the backlash because they're not focusing on what the word said. It's, in other words, it's like Yeshua enduring the cross because of the joy that was set before him.
Right.
You understand? He
Perspective. It's
understood that the
perspective. Yeah.
script doesn't end at the cross, or it doesn't
Okay.
end at his death. That there's a story continues after that. You know the story after that, and they're not looking at that. They're looking at the immediate threat, the
Exactly.
immediate danger, as
Mhm.
though what Yeshua says beyond the threat and the danger, the immediate threat and the danger doesn't exist. So they put more faith in the threats of humanity than they do in the promises or the warnings of Yeshua beyond it, this day and age. That's the
But
point that I'm
then
making.
but then you're getting my point. We're actually making the same point
Then that means
at
that
the
we
end of the day.
disagree. We're probably
Yes.
just wording it differently. But
Yes.
I just would say that they themselves, like, you're not your sin. You're distinct from your sin.
You
You know,
commit.
right? You
sin.
commit your sin. Your sin is something that you choose to do.
Right.
So people are not cowards because that's who they are. People are cowards because that's what they chose to embrace.
Exactly. Or react.
They
Yeah.
chose to be a coward over heeding to the voice of Yahweh. And for that reason, fire and brimstone is going to be their judgment. That's the point that he's making.
Yes, and then back to my point is this monogamy only, the prescribed monogamy, is bringing out that this is their choice. Do you get my? I'm focused on the question.
Right. That is
Does
that.
monogamy make men weak? I say no.
Right. Let me put the banner back up. Let me see. Yeah, does prescriptive monogamy.
I'm focused with the question in mind.
Right.
We're already cheaters. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This situation is simply bringing it out.
Right. Okay.
They already were cheaters.
Right. Mainly because they cheating on what the word says.
In that sense.
Not because they themselves are inherently cheaters. It's because they cheated on Yah.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I mean a man is a born cheater?
They cheated because of fear.
Right.
It wasn't that they didn't believe. Well, because, I mean, like I said, you got a choice between monogamy and polygyny. You got a choice.
Let's say you don't know about polygyny. You don't know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the question is saying, does prescriptive monogamy then lead men to cheat? So in other words, prescriptive monogamy, first of all, if there was no policy that ever existed called which consists of prescriptive monogamy, then it wouldn't lead men to have to feel like they gotta hide.
Yes.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So the only reason why men feel like they have to hide is because of this policy, this doctrine.
Man-made, yeah.
So the elephant in the room is prescriptive monogamy.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to education on polygyny, because I've been studying it for like maybe 6 months. I've been studying this, and I never heard the word polygyny before, but I heard the word polygamy. It's a difference. It's an umbrella. Under polygyny, you have polyandry. That's with a woman with more than one husband. That's unbiblical. Then you have polyamory. That's when everybody, the man loving the man, woman loving the man, and they have these TV shows now with polygamy and all of that. So, and if a person looking at that on TV and they don't understand the difference between polygamy and polyandry and and polygyny, they're gonna think it's wrong. So people have to be taught. So if you're not taught, you're gonna believe what you see on TV. You're gonna believe the Latter-day Saints when they had, all them wives under polygyny and all that stuff, having sex with their own relatives and things like that. You're gonna think it's wrong until you use the word polygyny and you start studying it and seeing the history of it. And if you see it in the Bible, in scripture, you carry out in scripture, and the person can't deny it because it's right there in black and white. They can't deny it, that God, and you can look through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and you will never see where God called it a sin, and never see where it was stopped at. You'll never find it. So
but isn't that
for yourself?
But isn't that the whole point of why the enemy uses false doctrine in the first place? There's a whole lot of things that people overlook in the scriptures that they're going to be held accountable for. That's sitting right there inside the scriptures. There's a whole lot of things that people overlook that they're going to ultimately This is just one of the things, and that's really the whole purpose is for him to steal, kill, and to destroy.
Exactly.
I'm going to get you in this area over here because I know this is a weakness for you, right? I'm going to get you in this area over here so that I can steal, kill, and to destroy.
Right.
Yeah.
And some people are not going to accept it.
I have a different vantage point on this. So there's more than one reason why I say what I say. I have had talks like this with men that I know who are known players.
Right.
A wife at home and then other women. And the other women know he has a wife at home. Sometimes the wife at home knows he has other women. She just acts as if she doesn't know. So I've seen this happen. Now, when I talk to these men and explain to them, hey, you don't have to do it. You can have more than one woman. They themselves get angry. They're happy that, hey, you don't have to cheat. No, they're angry because now they have to take care of all their women, which they don't want. They like to smash and dash. They like to be able to use prescriptive monogamy as a shield to then say, hey, I have to just I must have one woman, so I gotta let the other one go. They use it as a shield, a way to ease their conscience.
Mm.
You get my point?
Yes.
But then they believe that
If
it's
they were
adultery
cheat,
that they're committing. They just overriding it. But those that believe in prescriptive monogamy believe that if they're cheating on their wife if they deal with somebody else.
every
Other
player
than
believes in prescriptive monogamy. Every
Right.
one of you can't be a player if you don't believe that.
Yeah, brother Juice Jacobs made a good point here. He well, he makes an interesting point. He says, if a man is faithful to false doctrine of monogamy only, that doesn't make him a coward. It means he's deceived. I definitely agree that there's deception
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Trying to fear the Most High incorrectly.
He's
Okay.
doing what he thinks Yah wants.
Right.
No
He's doing
problem.
what he thinks Yah wants. Right. All right. That's a
But
good point.
how would you deal
deceived.
with a
Yeah,
man
he's
that is
deceived.
he's cheating and he learns about polygyny and gets angry? I've actually seen men get angry. They don't want to talk to me even anymore because of this doctrine.
Right.
If
Right.
it really was the prescriptive monogamy that made him cheat, he should have been happy to hear that it doesn't exist. But he's now angry. So that's why I'm saying it's not the prescriptive monogamy.
Yeah, but
making him cheat.
the thing is that the prescriptive monogamy is not just mandated for him. It's mandated throughout the society. So it's not the backlash is not coming from himself. The backlash is coming from what others are going to do to him if he stands against prescriptive monogamy.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. This is a pervasive doctrine that does damage pervasively. You understand? And so the result is that the whole society is underneath its force. And so a man is not afraid because he don't think that is wrong for him to do. He's afraid because of how other people are going to react to him standing up against prescriptive monogamy.
Okay.
And
I
that's
understand
it's
what
a
you're
general,
saying.
it's a general, in other words, it brings about a general sense of fear
I
throughout
understand what you're
society.
saying. But
Yeah.
the verse you have there, Yah is holding the man accountable, not the backlash that comes to it. He's holding
Right.
the
He's
man in question.
exactly. And so what is he holding him accountable for? Because he's afraid of what the people are going to do or say, persecute him for making a stand in Yah. He's afraid of that persecution. And that's what makes
But
him a
it's still on
coward.
the man.
Right.
Yes,
It's
so
still on the man. It's his choice, right? Right. Okay, so here's another one. Is cheating evil? Oh, we did that one already. This was no. We did that. Okay, we did that one. Okay, I want to show you guys a video. Let me pull up this video. It's a short video. It's a little comical, but it's about what the rules of prescriptive monogamy. What are the requirements?
And it's a woman telling us.
Let me go back. Let me go back.
Get the volume.
Yeah, let me go back. Okay, here we go.
I don't hear audio. I don't hear audio.
You can't hear it?
No sound yet, brother Mike.
Hold on a second. Let me
With her
go.
shaking that neck, I can almost tell what she's getting ready to say.
Hold on a second.
She has words of wisdom, probably.
With that neck shaking, yeah. I can tell she ain't submissive either.
Oh, what gave it away?
What's that word again?
All right,
that evil word submission.
Let me. Can you hear it now?
You're triggering a lot of people.
Still not.
Hold on a second.
Daniel, what gave it away? What gave her away?
The spirit of it.
Because there's no sound.
Speak the spirit behind.
There's no sound, and you can already say she's not.
Yeah, the spirit.
With no sound.
that pose right there. That one right there. She probably a preacher or a bishop or something. Yeah, they don't elevate themselves to high
And
priests almost. They
with no sound. And
Can you hear it? Can you hear it
No,
now?
No, still nothing.
Oh man.
You might have to read it.
now he ain't gonna be able to say it like her. Look at that face. Oh Lord.
She's man.
Is she married or what? Where's her husband at? That's what I
And
want.
the haircut, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
What husband?
Exactly. That's what
Or
I
which
said.
one of them? It's either. Sometimes it's the other way.
What are you saying,
Yeah,
brother
and how many
Rapaholic? Are you
kids you
saying it's a
got?
polyamorous?
It could be. You could be surprised.
That's not right. We shouldn't judge a person by the
Because
cover.
the way she's
But this
shaking
is-
that neck is loose. It's very
Oh
loose.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not
When
gonna.
that neck get loose.
It's gonna take. I'm not gonna be able to get it. So
But do you know
We
the
got
point
the
she
message. though. We
named?
got the message.
yeah.
No, but have you
Yeah.
remembered the point she named, or did you write them
Yeah.
down or
I'm
something?
gonna have to do that. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to do that in my off time, try to figure this out because I had this issue too. Because I did a video on polygyny yesterday, that I've been editing, and I had that same issue that I showed a video from YouTube, and I couldn't hear the audio in the video. I had to manipulate it so that I can get it in there. So I got to try to figure that out. So I'm
But
new
do
to
you
this new computer that I have. But yeah, go ahead. Say what you're gonna
no,
say.
but do you know the points she mentioned? That's what I.
She's basically listing like there's all of these rules to prescriptive monogamy. She's basically saying, you know,
How many
you
are
can't,
they
you
about?
can't, you can't have a password on your phone. You can't look at porn, right? You can't,
Okay.
you can't stay out
Sound like prison to me.
without making a phone call and telling about your
You gotta make a
whereabouts.
phone call.
You can't do like in other words, there's all of these rules to it. That's the point that she's making. She's like
Yeah.
monogamy has all of these rules to it, you know.
I
So
believe
she's
even
like,
in prison.
this I
I
have to
believe
say.
even in prison you have one phone call, so there's no
Yeah,
phone
prison you
calls
get a
here.
phone call.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
she's actually not
Confinement.
that wrong. She's not that wrong. The thing she should do is take the list and apply it to herself. Just don't
Right.
put it to your husband.
right.
You keep
right.
that list and you're gonna be a good wife. That's it. Don't
Yeah,
stay
he
out
said
late.
that's a I prefer Pookie haircut that she got.
Yeah. So if she says she as a woman,
Yeah,
so if she says she as a
Yeah.
woman has no password, she's good. If she doesn't
Yeah.
stay out late, she's good. If she's
Yeah.
out and calls her husband to say where she is, she's good.
she's
So
good.
if she applies the list to herself, she's gonna be the best woman.
She's the best woman, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
brethren,
if I play it with my
brethren.
phone, brother Bazaway, it's gonna have an echo on it, so it's not gonna really work that good. I've tried to put my phone on and put it together. It's gonna have an echo to it. Yeah, it's gonna have an echo to it. Yeah, gonna.
Oh, brethren, I need some encouragement.
What's up?
Mhm.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Because I've
Yeah,
grown.
Manilo said, Manilo said Pookie gonna be cheating. Yeah, no, but go ahead. Yeah.
She's waiting on.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Y'all joke around a lot, man.
Yeah, yo, shut up, dude. This is serious. This is serious, man.
Yeah, he's trying to lay out his heart, man.
I'm trying to get serious now. Come on.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay.
How do you deal with one that's biblically knowledgeable, even after you knock off all the scriptures that they come with, but still want to maintain? Because I was looking at the fear. I don't have the fear of leaving and losing. I would like for her to be a part of the truth.
Yes.
You know.
Right.
But if she can't accept that, do I move on forward with the way my heart feels about what I believe the truth is, as far as a man having more than one wife?
Right. And guys?
Can I answer that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
My experience, I was with a woman 5 years. She wanted marriage. I was against marriage before. it's the Bible that changed my mind. I was completely against it, and she was adamant. We need to get married. Why don't you want to get married? This, that, and the third. It was at the 4th year mark where I actually talked to her about it. She actually made a fuss, worse than the salad fuss. She made a fuss about it, and at a point I was like, okay, the Bible says to do it, and we talked about it. Then I explained to her what biblical marriage entails. Now she knows the Bible. She knew the
Right.
Bible.
Right.
And I told her, and the two things she got stuck on is the submission and the polygyny aspect. And it took me a whole year explaining, and she still left. Now she knew the Bible. I had a year with patience. Now I wasn't forcing her. I was just studying the subject and saying,
Right.
"Come,
Right.
let's study
Right.
it together."
Right.
You know. And she left when she saw I was not gonna back off of it. She left. So the thing you're saying, my answer would be to just walk the path. If she is truly your woman or the man in question, she's gonna stay. And if she's gonna leave, it doesn't matter what you do, no matter how you explain, she's gonna leave. Especially the ones that know the word and still reject, no matter how hard you explain it. If she's
Yeah.
gonna leave, she's gonna leave.
Even if it's your wife. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You
But
talking?
you
Yeah.
keep walking the path.
Yeah.
Don't divorce her, by the way.
Going
Do not
Latin.
divorce. Give her time to think, to grow in it. But if she wants to leave, let her go. She got it.
So if she divorced, I mean, how long? Okay, that brings a pose. Would I be cheating if I found another woman and took her on as my wife?
No.
No.
Oh,
Biblically
okay.
speaking, no.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I think you're too happy about that, brother Day. I seen the smile on his face real quick. He already have somebody in mind.
Yes,
I
yes,
just
yes.
don't want to be cheating. Yeah, you know, I got a little taste of that
no,
monogamy.
Your face got real happy real quick.
If
He said,
she's
"Oh,
single,
okay."
if the other woman's single, then you're good.
Right. I understand the definition of adultery for sure.
But
Yeah.
to the question, I don't know what the other brothers their experience is, but mine, if she knows and still rebels, that is, I don't think
Right.
there's
Well, she
that.
knows. Yeah, she
Yeah,
clearly
you can't
knows
say
that.
that.
Yeah.
What
So
about
yeah.
the brother
The other
39
brothers?
years? I want to hear from him. 39
Yes,
years.
let's hear his
Tony.
experience.
What do you want to hear from me?
What do you recommend I do in my case?
Yeah.
Oh, it's your case. I thought it was a hypothetical case.
It's his
No,
case.
I
It's
said
his case.
I was asking for
He was talking about for
encouragement and
himself. Yeah.
exhortation.
Yeah. He said he
Okay.
encouragement. Right.
Same
Yeah.
answer, by the way.
Yeah. No, you said don't divorce. I got what
Don't. No.
No, don't
but
It's not
divorce
stand
him.
wrong
No,
on
you don't want to do
Yahweh's word. Stand on his
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
Maybe she needs time to understand. So it would be.
Well,
it would be
I'm giving her that. I'm giving her. But that's what I was saying. Meantime, would I be cheating if I
No.
chose someone else and said, well, I'll look out for you, because the Bible says if you take upon another woman, make sure that you could take care of that one.
Yes.
Hmm.
As long as you
Then
take care
the
of the
funds
most.
is going to get real light.
No, it all depends on
No.
what your position is, like what you have,
Sure,
what you
yeah.
financially, yeah. And
Right.
and that's the other thing too. It's a misnomer. And
That
it's
you
a
need
real lack
money.
of understanding, right? That you gotta be this rich
Yeah.
person and stuff. But
Right.
I
Yeah,
say
that's
this.
not
I
true.
say this. You
Pay
need
for the
money
What
for
you need,
prostitutes.
what you
You
need
gotta
is
pay for the weed.
cooperation. That's what you
Yes.
need. You need
You're right.
You need money for
cooperation.
prostitutes. Prostitutes require a lot of money.
Yeah,
Not wives. Wives
Yeah.
actually should bring more money.
yeah. Viceroy said a
Mhm.
man taking another woman is never cheating.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's a
brother
fact.
Tony,
Who's
what
that?
was his? But
Yeah.
39 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why would you want to divorce her? That's what question I want to ask.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, the
I don't
headache,
want
the
to. I don't
headache,
really
the
want to
headache.
divorce her. I want her to
Okay.
be the first wife, and just add to it. I don't
Yeah.
want to
My
divorce
question
her.
is, what if she don't go for it? What you gonna do?
One thing
That's
that
what.
I would Yeah, I mean, did you have an answer for him, Tony, or that was just a question?
I was asking him what, you know, what did he do? What would he do if his wife don't go for that?
Right. Yeah. What do you
The
do?
headache makes you want a divorce. I get that.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Western
one
men.
thing
Vice
I'm
says.
not in fear. I'm not in fear of going to that extent, and I believe it'll be me. Like she told me, release her because she believes that part of the law that I have to release her.
Right.
So,
says who?
it says
Does
according to the
law?
scriptures.
No,
According to the
I mean,
scriptures
if she wants to go, then
Why
yeah,
not
she
the
can.
whole of the law? Why
Yeah,
keep
right,
that part
right.
and not
And it's
all?
yeah, if she wants to go. But the thing is that one thing that you have to realize is that how long here's a question. And this is what I talk with brothers, because a lot of brothers are like similar in your situation. Like they're frustrated because they come into this understanding and their wife is not there, right?
You see the
And
light.
and there's tension. How long has it been since you saw the light biblically?
Yes.
Biblically, how long has it been since you saw scripturally that it's not a sin for you to have more than one wife?
it's been about 2 or 3 years, and she
Okay.
knew then. But the thing was that I was practicing before I realized that there
but
was
were
nothing
you?
wrong with it.
But were
Right.
you? But was she practicing? But
Oh,
was she? But was she? You, in other words, you didn't really feel that it was anything wrong with it, right?
No,
But
he actually
you
was.
did. Yeah, but he right. But
He
were
thought he
you
was doing wrong.
Right?
Then
Right.
he
At one
twisted.
time, I was under.
No.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
Right.
here that I asked you specifically, when did you come into the biblical understanding that nothing is wrong with it? And you said 2-3 years ago.
Right.
Right. What I'm saying to you, you said, and then you also said that she came into that understanding, or she was made aware of it around that same time, 2-3 years
Right.
ago.
Right.
So
Right.
here's the question. How long have you been in the word? How long have you been a believer in the word?
Oh, way before then. Both of us were.
How long? Give me some years.
Yes.
Oh, I got 13 with her, but I've been in the word for 40 years.
For 40 years. How long has she been? How long has she been in the word?
About just as long.
Okay, so here's my point. Here's my point.
Yeah.
Again, so if you say 2 to 3 years to come into the understanding, right? Going back 40 years ago, right?
Right.
2-3 years is a small amount in comparison to the totality of 40 years.
Right.
So for most of your existence of being a Bible believer, you were in the dark, right? You've been in error, you've been in the dark, right?
Right.
So it didn't happen that fast.
Like
it didn't
that.
happen
Right.
overnight, right? It took
Right.
time for you to get to where you are at right now. The reality is, just like it took time for you to get there, who's probably more eager as a man to be able to have multiple wives,
Blue
right? And
balls,
her
you know,
as a
the-
woman,
although-
right? It's the process for her is gonna more than likely take longer.
Right.
And so you the thing is that you have to give grace. Think about Yahweh.
Right. I believe that.
Is the Yeshua is the head of the church as the husband is the head of the wife.
That's right.
Okay. So he been waiting 40 years for you to come around to the knowledge of the truth, right? And you his wife, right? So now you have got 2-3 years under your belt, right? And the words or the thoughts of getting rid of her is coming out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't really want to get rid of her.
No.
I don't want to really.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you want to.
Right.
I'm just saying that the fact that the words are coming out of your mouth is you're not really looking at, as a husband, you're supposed to be imitating him as who is your husband.
Right.
That's the whole point. He's been great. 40 years, he's been gracious.
Right.
You're no longer a coward now in this regard, right? So he's been gracious for you to toughen up, right? He didn't cast you out
Right.
because you wasn't with the program. I'm sure that you probably even had debates against polygamy
With
at one point in
Yeshua.
time.
Yeah.
Did you ever debate anybody against? Did you
All
ever
them
stand on the
stupid-
side as being pro prescriptive monogamy and debate anyone? Did you ever debate a Muslim
Or laugh at them. Or laugh at them.
or laugh
Well,
at
they-
them or
they-
look at them as being wrong? Did you ever have a debate?
Oh,
against
back in the
polygamy?
days. Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
Back
my
in-
point.
Yeah.
That's my point. So how she's debating you right now, you were debating Yahweh in terms of his truth.
Okay.
And his
And-
patience
and-
has prevailed.
And his patience has prevailed. And that's what I'm just saying. So when you look at it from that perspective, yeah, it's easy to say, oh, I want to get rid of her. I'm going to get another wife and I can move on. Then I ain't got to deal with this headache. I'll find somebody that's going to be willing. That could be
Yeah,
the
don't
thought that's
divorce her.
inside the head. But in actuality, there's something to be learned in going through your wilderness process. 40 years is in the wilderness,
Yeah.
Mm,
right? There's something to be said about that.
okay.
So it's easy to try to erase and then do a do-over in your thinking inside your mind, but in reality, had the children of Israel in year 1 of the 40 years been in the wilderness gone into the promised land in year 1 in the wilderness, what would have happened in the promised land?
We wouldn't be here, actually.
We wouldn't.
They would
here.
have messed it up too bad.
They needed, according to Deuteronomy
The
8, they
purification.
needed
Done.
to be purged.
Yes.
It was
Mhm.
intentional that Yahweh take them through that's patience.
Yes. They would have messed up. But one thing we have to say, you don't have to accept 3 things she does. So if it becomes way too much for you to bear, she's cussing you out and doing, then okay, then I understand. But only
Yeah, hold on a
as an
second. Hold on, wait,
ultimate
I want to
last
say, hold on a
resort.
second, hold on a second. Noah, we're gonna deal with the topic. You keep talking about the topic of being in heaven and being married. You understand? We're gonna deal with
We're
the
getting
topic,
to
brother.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it, but that's not the
Yeah, we
topic
on
for
Earth.
tonight.
I'm dealing with some earthly
Yeah,
issues.
we
Let
talking
him
about
be patient. Let Noah be patient in this case.
And the scriptures
Let him be
that
patient.
you pulled up
But
have
but
nothing to
Brother
do with what
Daniel,
you're
Brother
saying.
Daniel, do you get the point? Do
So
you
I
get my
think we're
point?
Yeah.
going to take the
Yeah.
week
Yeah, no,
and
no,
go
the
Yeah.
through
patience
that
and the
again.
grace. Yeah.
yeah.
But it has its limits. If he's going too far, cursing you out, saying all these stupid things,
right.
telling people things about you, bringing your business out, then
Is-
then she deserves a divorce.
As long as she's
And
respectful.
No,
Be
no, it's
respectful,
not
be
even going
patient.
that far. It's my desire.
Right.
She's gonna maintain because she believes that she has to be loyal to her husband
No,
until
then
she
don't
gets
divorce.
that paper.
Right.
Until she
No
gets that
divorce.
paper.
Right. Right. But it's
Now
you
it's whether
feeling like
I
you're
think
about to
it's
bust.
cheating if I go find another wife.
You're
You're
the
gonna
one that's feeling
explode.
like you're about to bust and explode, right?
Yo, that ain't funny, man. That ain't funny.
No, do not divorce. Do not divorce.
No, I
Do
can't
not
divorce her,
divorce.
man. She a good.
Don't become
She
a
a good woman.
pestidal on us. Don't
She
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
woman, man.
Otherwise, if you divorce, then I might become a Ringo to you and then make a 7-hour video of how you.
yeah.
I gotta look
yeah.
at that. What do you say? It was
Oh
7
no, man!
hours?
No,
Is it
Hey,
it's,
you
it's
guys-
more.
you
It's
guys-
more than. No,
it's
it's
more
it's
than
more.
one.
You got some catching up to do, man. It's more. It's
Yeah,
more
you
than
guys-
that.
Oh,
I see you.
okay.
I
all
see.
right.
I
Your
see
week
you
is
some
booked.
links. Yeah, I
Okay,
see
Your
you some
week is
links.
booked.
I see you
Your
some
whole
links.
week is booked. If you're gonna watch the week,
Yeah,
booked.
yeah,
All the whole.
yeah.
All right.
But
I
Yeah.
appreciate
is the
y'all on
answer?
this.
Is the answer sufficient? Are you happy with the
Yeah,
answer?
no, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
give me
just
another
gotta.
perspective.
You just gotta be gracious, man. You
Yeah,
are.
lay back.
You
Yeah,
are the Messiah to her. You are
right.
the pastor to her. You're the shepherd. You're her master.
Mhm.
You're her Lord.
You have
Right?
to bring her
All
to
of all of those are
maturity.
biblical terms for husband,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Nourish.
yeah.
Right. So
Sarah called him. Yeah.
right. So you have to extend grace.
Mercy.
Right.
Grace.
Right. So you gotta have forbearance. You gotta be patient. You know,
Yeah.
ain't that don't we talk about that with our conversations? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You gotta be
yeah,
patient.
yeah.
You gotta be
Lay
patient,
back.
man.
be
So
laid
It's not
back.
always fun. I understand, but that way.
yeah, because it on the flip side of it, you're the one that's growing as well through the
Right.
process. It's not just her going through a process. Moses
Right.
was going through a process too.
Right.
He was
40
there the
years.
40 years. Yeah, he was there.
And he was the shepherd.
Right.
He was there. And he actually had to be pissed off at the children of Israel because he didn't do anything wrong, but he had to stay there the 40 years.
Yeah.
But,
He
but
was
he
praying.
didn't do anything.
And he was praying for those boogers too, because y'all was
Yeah.
about to
Yeah.
start over. He was about to do what
Yeah.
you was talking about doing. He about to start over. Look, I'm
Well, what I
Yeah.
would like,
I'm a
what would be
smoke
nice,
these.
what would be
Yeah.
nice is she was like, her mother, Sarah, and bring me a woman. That would all be, it would all work out
Hey,
at that
we
point,
all
but
want
it don't look like
virgins.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, I don't
But
know.
I'm gonna tell you, my brother, I'm gonna give you a revelation. She ain't there yet.
Look, Sarah is generational. So her mother was probably submissive, and her
She not-
grandmother.
Oh, she's the mother of
I mean,
faith.
it's a combination. It's a combination of coming into this truth, coming into this understanding, feeling pissed off because you've been lied to all these
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And at the same token, it's like, yo, I see some things out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got all this
But
emotion going on, and it can make you angry. You know what I'm saying? You get frustrated. Yeah, that's a lot. But you listen. You don't want to act out of haste.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
You
And a lot of times we think we ready, and
You
we're
ain't
not really
not.
ready. God
You're
knows
not.
you're not ready.
Right.
You're
Not
ready.
for
Then you're
what's
gonna have
out
to deal
here.
with
Nah.
jealousy.
And
Because a
just
lot of
because you
women are
got
territorial.
just because you got through 2 or 3 scriptures under your arsenals, that don't mean that you are ready.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Knowing the scriptures and having patience is 2 different things.
yeah.
Patience has to be developed over time.
Mhm. Through some
Yeah.
tribulations. It come through some tribulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the trying of your faith produces patience.
You're right.
So
Right?
with me, the patience actually came from what you just said. Understanding with that. Okay, so Yah has been this patient with me. How can I be hasty with someone else?
Right.
Exactly.
Understood that.
And be
And
grateful. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeshua's parable about forgiveness. How
Yes.
can I forgive my brother? How can I ask for forgiveness of this little thing that I owed the master, and then my brother that I see that owes me much smaller, in
Right.
comparison to the great thing that I
To
owed,
the great
right?
thing,
Yeah. So it's about mercy, forgiveness,
It humbled me.
right? And there's lessons for you to learn that will prepare you for what it is that you want. So the wilderness was to prepare for the promise.
Amen. For the ministry. Yeah.
Yeah, it was preparation. So when you get on the phone, you need to tell your baby, I love you.
You watching the
You
stream?
the
'Cause
one. Should I
we're
say
actually
you the one?
advocating. Is she watching the stream? Because we're advocating in her favor.
Yeah.
Brother,
Yeah, go ahead,
I
brother Jeremy.
love that he.
Don't
Jermaine, yes,
forget.
I love that
Don't
he asked the
forget to
question.
tear.
Daniel, I love that you asked this question because if a woman were to see this, she might think we hate women, and now we're advocating for a man to not divorce his wife.
Because that's what biblical patriarchy is all about.
Right.
Yes, but you
It's
can't
ultimately
say we
for the
hate
protect.
women.
Listen, polygyny benefits the woman the most.
More, yes.
It's for the benefit of the weakest of among us. Prescriptive monogamy abuses women. It causes women to accrue high body counts.
1. Baby mamas. 2.
Baby mamas, right?
Can I add one thing, brothers?
Poverty, right?
We're listening, Brother Derek.
Yes, I would say if we ever look at a lion pride, you ever see the lioness, how they work together, work in unison?
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be in that manner.
Yes.
See, once in a while the lion might step in, but you see how the lions, they hunt together, they gather together, they defend together.
Yep.
You have a strong fort there.
There it is.
It's a great example in nature.
So you can't actually be polygynous if you don't, like a biblical marriage, if you don't love value women. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
A biblical marriage wouldn't work if you don't value women, because people usually
Of
think we
course,
don't.
of course, of course.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. Like, you know, that's the beauty of Torah, is that when you really look into it, it is driven on the philosophy and the spirit of justice and mercy and benevolence
And a just
and
balance.
love, right? that's the whole heart of it. You know, it's because of his grace. Like the law is because of Yahweh's grace and mercy and
Because
love,
he's gracious, he gave us a law.
right?
But
And
let me
so,
bring this point. Let me bring
Mhm.
this point.
Mhm.
Ephesians says that you're supposed to love her like you love yourself and cherish her. See, that's what she brings to me. Can
Mhm.
you cherish 2, 3 women equally?
Mm.
And then I tried to bring it. Well, look, you got 7 congregations and Revelations, so it doesn't mean. But she was like, "Nah, the church is one. The church is one." So
So
you know,
can I go into that?
Yeah,
go ahead.
sure.
So do any other brothers, maybe they wanna
Yeah.
chime in?
Derek, Jeremy, Tony,
Fellas speak.
can
About
you
what?
love more than one in the way how
Equally. He
Ephesians
used the
5,
word
yeah, equally,
equally.
Yeah,
yeah.
you die
Yeah.
for them,
If
cherish.
you
Yeah,
The problem I have is with the word equally. That's what I have a problem with.
if
Because
you've
what
ever
is
been a
You will
equal?
see something
you've
in
ever
one that
been
you
a
won't see in the
father,
other.
Manilow said, "Nah, tell her you one of the ones."
So if his house wasn't in chaos now, definitely. After saying something
Yeah.
like that, oh yeah.
Yeah,
The women will
and brother Larry says, I can remember in my 20s when I moved in my first neighborhood, I washed my broken BMW because I couldn't afford it. Foolish. Then I covered it up and got a new ride. I got rid of it. It's a still car.
it's still a car.
It's still
Yeah,
a
still a
car.
car.
it's still
Yeah,
his car. Yeah,
yeah, it's still his
It's still
he
car.
his
just got a
car.
new one. He just got a
Yeah.
new one, but he still got.
Still his car.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said Manilow says, I have 4 cars. I like all of them. The BMW is my favorite, but I can't get rid of any of them. I work on all of them.
But the
Yeah,
favorite, he used the
yeah.
word favorite.
Yeah, and Larry says
Which is the possibility.
you love them according to their measure, like he does us.
That's why I
Right.
said
Oh,
equally.
And
What I
then
am-
Viceroy says this. He says, can you love your children fairly, even if you have several? Of course.
Of course. And you might have a favorite.
And you might have a favorite, exactly. But you can still extend how would you say, equity?
Equity, then that's the word. That's
Yeah,
the
equity.
biblical word. Equity.
Mhm.
It's even in Proverbs.
It's a legal term.
Equity. Yes.
Yeah.
Equity.
It's a legal
The
term.
Bible is not an equal book. It's not a book of equality. It
Yeah.
doesn't fit. It just
Right.
does not fit. Even
Yeah,
Yeshua, he gave 10
actually,
talents, 5 talents, 1 talent.
actually, equal is a feminist term.
Yes.
there you go again.
That's that word. So the question you asked, I only have a
50-50.
problem with the word equal. If you
Mhm.
release
Right.
that, if you remove that, can you love
Mhm.
all your women? Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Equally,
Yeah.
no. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
Because if
So
the one needs a car and the other one needs new shoes, what do? Do you get both cars and shoes? No. You buy shoes for the one, cars for the other, as
right.
necessary.
Right. All right. So what are we saying here, fellas? We done went over the 3-hour mark.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
3 hours and 13 minutes. So what are we saying here?
Based on the question,
Yeah.
Cheating.
Based on the topic,
monogamy,
how
enforcement, and
prescriptive
cheating.
monogamy leads men to be sneaking out. And I think the main question to that is, does prescriptive monogamy lead prescriptive monogamy lead men to cheat? And if so, why?
It gives
That
them the
was
only option. is cheating.
Right.
Let's say it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it definitely creates prescriptive. When you think of prescriptive monogamy, you're thinking of the policy. The
Yeah.
policy creates these pressures in the culture. And because of those pressures in the culture and the conditioning that has been reared in the man, right? Because he's been reared with the idea that it's wrong. Like he's been told all his life that it's wrong, right? So is his internal conditioning, and then you have all these external conditionings and pressures that exist within inside the culture. So
yes.
what is the logical conclusion that he comes up with? Well, I'm gonna be like the man. I'm gonna be like the man in the thumbnail of this stream, right?
Is she gone? Is she gone? Oh yeah, I could.
Right,
Bam.
right.
So,
So I'm
but
gonna
I gotta say something. I have to thank Yeshua. I have to thank the Lord Himself, because what we're doing here, the 6 men on the panel. Okay, I don't like to toot my own horn, but we're here, and the men in the chat, the people watching this. What we are actually saying is the game is rigged, so we're switching up. We're just not gonna play it. We're gonna play the Lord's game. Let's say like that. So we're not even participating in this cheating game. We're switching it up. The rules don't work. We're gonna work with Yah's rules. You get my point? That's what we are actually doing. We're telling the woman, this one man, one woman thing doesn't. I'm gonna do what Yah said. You're gonna follow me or not. So we're not even participating in this. We here, biblical men.
Right.
We're not even participating.
Biblically, yeah.
Right.
Because it's a lose-lose situation. If you participate, it's lose. You cheat, you're screwed. You don't cheat, you're weak. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
can I say this? It's
praises
cheating.
to the Most High.
Yeah.
It's cheating if you accept prescriptive monogamy. It's not cheating if you accept biblical polygyny.
Right, because if you accept biblical polygyny, as Brother Derek would say, you're gonna be truthful about it, and you're gonna be upfront. You're gonna be willing to take the backlash, right? You know.
What are you playing?
Yeah, I like this. Viceroy says, "Can you love your children fairly, even if you have several?" Of course, right? And then Bazaway says, "Yes." Psalms 51:5-15. That's the passage that says that David was born and shaped with iniquity. He says, "We are and was a bunch of SOBs, sons of bitches." Talking about David's mom. Yeah, so
to end with that.
Yeah, and Viceroy says fire to what you said, Rapperholic.
Yeah, so we just switch the game.
Right.
I'm not participating in the losing.
Right. So what do we say? Do we agree that prescriptive monogamy influences men to cheat?
If you subscribe to it, yes.
If you subscribe to it,
if
you subscribe to it, right? If you buy into it, exactly.
Right.
Okay, you, Brother Derek, Jeremy, Tony.
I would say that I would agree with the panel on that. I would say that if you go to the pharmacy and you pick up a prescription that you don't need, you're just gonna just damage your body and just make it more toxic than what it is already.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So just stay away from the pharmacy if you don't need it.
Right.
Exactly. Go natural.
Eat your vegetable.
Homeopathic.
So true. And it's crazy.
Alkaline your body.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the crazy thing
is
wow, that's a very good analogy.
Yeah.
Good analogy. That is really a big problem. Yes, culturally. Yeah, the pharmaceuticals.
So they let you believe you're sick, and then they hand you the prescription, but you're healthy. What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do? Yeah. Well, I definitely enjoyed this.
Wait, Brother Tony, he didn't say anything.
Yeah, Tony, yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%.
That it influences men to sneak out, right? So it's a bad policy, man. It's a bad doctrine for sure.
Yeah, it's like
it's influenced by demons. Huh?
Brother Jeremy, you still there?
No.
Yeah, Jeremy said something, right? Jeremy responded, right? Right, Jeremy?
No, I was waiting for all the chatter to die down.
Oh, okay.
That is not good. Okay.
But yes, I agree. And I'll say this. If you got chocolate ice cream at home, but you want some vanilla, you're going to go out and get vanilla, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Mm.
You just tell your woman, look, I'm gonna need a scoop.
But you know,
I don't know if that vanilla is a good choice, though.
but some
I don't know if
listen,
vanilla is-
some men
Don't
have
knock
diet.
it till you try it, brother Daniel.
Listen, some men have diet restrictions, and they on a no eat ice cream diet, right? Prescription, and they gotta hide from their wives because the wives are agents for the doctor,
They gotta,
right?
So what you can do, you can give her a sleeping pill and then you dash. That could work.
You gotta wait till she goes to sleep, and then you can do this.
Then you can.
Once she's asleep, you can do that. Okay.
You're home free.
Yeah, but
you're
she's
home
tracking
free.
your phone though, so she don't
She
even
sleep,
matter.
but she sleep. She sleep.
She can sleep. She can see it if she.
Yeah, you guys are crazy, man.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, be good. All
Yeah.
right, good. I had other questions, man, but we it just, you know, we just like I said, it's the main thing is we have this natural conversation and dialogue going along. You know, what I mean,
So
that's it.
you don't do the 7-hour and 8-hour stream.
Nah, I ain't got time like that. I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. I don't think Ringo. I don't think Ringo has a regular job. I think he's a content creator full time now.
Yeah.
So yes, I don't think that, Ringo's been doing this. It's almost 20 years. He's been doing this since 2006.
Yeah, that's
Oh, you guys
18.
send me that link. You guys send me.
Yeah, he's been on YouTube when it wasn't easy to do YouTube. Like nobody was checking for YouTube. So
Right.
he's a veteran he's a veteran of veterans.
Yeah. You guys send me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So brother Barry, Larry says this is big. Yeah, man, it's gonna be even bigger, brother. You come on this panel, man. We need you to get back up on this panel, man. We miss you, man. So come on back on the panel, man. Come home. Come home, man. Come home, man. Come home. Yeah. So final words, fellas. Final words, brother Jeremy.
Nope, no final words.
no final.
As you would say, I think we're firing on all cylinders.
All cylinders. That's right. Brother Tony, final words.
Final words: study to show yourself approved, and patience.
Yeah, I think that's a big word for the night. Patience. Yeah.
We could do a stream on patience.
Yeah,
patience. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's a good one.
I got a feeling a lot of men want to bust.
Yeah.
A lot of men want to bust.
Hey, lay off now.
Yeah.
A lot of men want to bust, man. A lot of men want to bust. A lot of men in that predicament, man. A lot of men in that predicament.
The thing that happened to me is I was relieved when I learned that a man could have more. I was relieved that I don't have to struggle with myself anymore. And then I was jumping up in the air. So I had the stages jumping up. There was an endless. Yeah, doesn't say how many you can have. So it's an endless amount. And then I calmed down. I was like, wait a minute, but there is responsibility that comes with it. It's not just a bunch of women.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
I calmed down and then studied. I'm still studying, but
right. Yeah, so, and it's a lifetime of studying. Yeah.
Yes, it's a lifetime. And if you ask last remarks or final remarks, I would say, I'm happy that we have been put in the position, to be able to flip the script, because it was a losing game. I was also playing that losing game, and it's not.
No. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Brother D?
Yeah,
I would say
oh.
three things: patience, humility, and remember to always have grace.
Yes. 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 Indeed.
Yeah.
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 The brother
yeah.
said it.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, Brother Dan.
Yeah, no. The brother said it all. That patience, grace, mercy
Mhm.
is what I'm striving to make a part of my character and conduct. And I just believe it's better to obey God rather than man.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
Daniel, one thing that I would add to the patience thing is to try to focus on more structural, important aspects of what scriptures teach. In other words, don't press the polygamy thing. It's on the table already. You already put it out there. She already know this, right? I think it's good that you focus on biblical patriarchy. You know, the structure of headship and authority, the structure of what a marriage is supposed to look like. You know, that the husband is the head and the wife is to be submissive in all things. Like, you know, focus on the structure of family, marriage, more so than trying to emphasize or keep trying to beat her over the head with the idea that the scripture says you can have more than one woman. You know, because she needs to be secure with her role as a wife. Because if she never embraces being submissive, subjected towards you, she will never accept you being the unique person to be able to have more than one spouse when she can't. She's never gonna. So she has to accept biblical patriarchy first.
So
Right.
this is what
There's a
happened to me.
context. There's a context.
There's a
This is
context
what
for
happened.
it. It's foundational, right?
Yeah, so
Right.
this is what happened. This is what happened to me. So when I learned this, you say patriarchy and the whole marriage, all of it, I saw the gap between me and what Yah calls a man, and that gap was huge. I was shocked at how weak I was actually. And I thought, I'm doing my thing, and then I saw the gap. I couldn't believe how the gap was that huge. And I'm not even talking wife. I'm simply talking about me, the structure and the things you mentioned, the patriarchy and the headship. The gap was huge. I couldn't believe the gap was that huge. So yes, you will spend more time focusing on that than on the women aspect.
Right.
And the patience and all that.
Right. Definitely. Because the fact the way that her position shows how much that you have not been the head.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of the fact that you have not been the one in
Yeah.
charge.
She's not in position because you have not.
And we didn't even talk on that, but prescriptive monogamy dethrones you as being the head.
Right.
And that's the way it's been. So as soon as you mention, hey, step outside of it, get off the plantation, polygyny, right? She reared her head up and showed you who was the boss.
Right.
You're telling a king to get off of his
through a
throne.
serpent. Through a serpent. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And she don't want to give up
like-
that power.
Yeah, it's like you're telling a king to step off of his throne.
Right.
And he's gonna fight you for it.
Right. Exactly.
Get off.
Exactly. Brother Larry says April Fool's Day, so only right that I made it by LOL. I don't know if I come on right now, but feel free to ask me anything. You got it, brother. Blessings to you,
what's
man.
the
Again, it's
joke?
good to see you, though, brother.
April Fool. What's the joke? Are we the joke? Is he the joke?
No. He just in terms of him coming on the stream, he says so. I only right that I made it by LOL. So the fact that he made it by is April Fool's, right?
But he is no joke.
Yeah. No. He's definitely not a joke, man. You beloved over here, man.
Oh, did he give let everyone know what happened about his story? This situation.
Here on the panel, for the most part, Jeremy knows. I don't think Brother Daniel knows. In terms of it, I definitely can send him the link of the previous stream. Larry's story. And actually, yeah, he definitely is a whole ordeal. That's a whole nother stream, bro. Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's a whole.
but it's not resolved yet.
I don't know. Yeah, we haven't really spoken really much, of late. So, a few weeks back, we, through text messaging, but we haven't really like spoken. So I really don't know. I don't know at this point. Yeah, but I pray that there's been progress. Yeah.
We just gotta keep praying for him, and if you want to share, he want to share. You got brothers
right.
here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, that's it. Like,
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
I do want to say that we gotta get Brother Allen off of here so he can go ahead and get that sleep. I know that's important.
Yeah, I got to get up early in the morning. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But I have fun though, man. I have fun. This was really good, man. I think talking about this monogamy versus polygamy stuff, man. It gets quite good, man. Quite good.
Interesting.
Quite good. Yeah, definitely. So, brother Derek, could you close us out in a word of prayer?
Okay, thank you, Lord, for bringing the brothers together and praying and speaking your word. Be able to guide us, be able to strengthen us. Some of us give us better ideas, be able to clear our minds, and be able to go on that journey. And like how it says in Psalm 119, 105, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Amen. And that we all have a good week and see us once again together to discuss your word. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, man. Listen, I love you guys. Thank you guys. Definitely take care of you brothers that could be on for Shabbat, for the next live stream. We dealing with this faith, and actually we took a pause talking about the law and faith. We'll finish that up and then go right back into dealing with chapter 12 of Hebrews on the subject of faith. But you, the viewers who stuck with us the whole night, or you came in during the middle portion of this, or came in late, it doesn't matter. Thank you for checking in and hanging out with us tonight. We want you to continue to be encouraged, continue to be the masculine men that Yah has created you to be the leader, and don't be fearful, don't be afraid, don't be a coward, because there is a reward on the other side for standing in and being a stand-up man. And so we encourage you, keep digging in the word for the king and kingdom. Hold on, brother Manilow says, have a blessed night, y'all. Yes, have a blessed night, brother Manilow, and all you brothers who in the comment section, Bazway, Viceroy, Noah, right? Gary, he got off earlier, right? Peace and blessings to you all. We bid you shalom. Peace.
The king and kingdom.
Shalom.
Shalom.